of boyfriends in your house. I mean, you do it anyway. That makes you pretty selfish.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Raylene Eppert is suing her daughter, Melissa Ray Bowen, for unpaid utility bills.
Order. All rise. It's case number 10 on the calendar, the matter of Eppert versus Bowen.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Folks, have a seat, please.
Miss Bowen, Miss Eppert is your mother. And you have children. How many?
I have 4.
How old are they?
17, 15, 11, and 5.
Is your current boyfriend the father of any of those children?
No, ma'am.
When did you ask your mother to put a utility bill in your name?
I never asked her. It was an agreement between her and my grandmother.
Did you move in with your grandmother?
Yes, I did.
When?
I believe May of 2016, 17.
Did she have a house?
She didn't know. We moved into a house together. She was living with my mother.
Okay, so let's go back. You and your grandmother moved into a place at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Your grandmother had been living with your mother.
Yes.
For how long?
For years.
And in 2016, you had a 3-year-old, a 9-year-old. And did you have the same boyfriend or no boyfriend?
I had a different boyfriend when we moved into this house.
You understand that that's not particularly good for your children. Mm-hmm. You do understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. I mean, you do it anyway. That makes you pretty selfish.
I don't think I'm selfish.
Absolutely.
So.
Absolutely. If you have 4 children, none of whom are fathered by your current boyfriend. 2 years ago, you had a different boyfriend who was also not the father of your children. Mm-hmm. That's pretty selfish. That goes like this with your kids. Okay, so you moved in with your grandmother into a place at the same time. Was there a lease?
Yes.
In whose name was the lease?
It was in both of our names.
Is this your grandmother?
Yes, ma'am.
Would you stand up, please? What's your last name?
Reet.
Now, when you moved into a house with your granddaughter, did you ever have a conversation with your daughter about putting the utility bill in your name?
No, I was told at a later date that's what had happened.
Told by whom?
I was told by my granddaughter and confirmed later by my daughter.
That it was put in your daughter's name?
Yes, she set it up.
When you were living with your granddaughter, were you sharing the utility bill with her? You splitting it down the middle?
No, I paid a portion of the rental agreement and then
rent on the house.
When we first moved in, it was about $1,100 or $1,200.
And how much did you pay?
Don't remember, because there were 3 of us, and it was split between myself, Melissa, and her other boyfriend that lived there. I think it was around $500.
Were all of her 4 children living with her?
Pardon me?
Were all of her children living with her?
They lived there with her, yes.
Were there 4 children in 2016 living with your granddaughter?
Yes.
They were off and on living there. My ex-husband and I have split custody, so 1 week on, 1 week off. They were not there the whole month.
Of the 2 older children.
I didn't ask whether they were the whole month. They slept there. Where did they go to school from?
By their dad's house.
Well, if they went to school from their father's house, that means that they slept at their father's house during the week, unless he lives in the same school district.
I would drive them to school every morning on the weeks that I had them.
Your Honor, her 2 older children, not the 2 younger children. The 2 older children are fathered by one man, and the 2 younger children are fathered by another man.
So the now 15 and 17-year-old would split their time?
Yes.
But not the 2 younger ones?
I helped arrange their child custody, and they had... Okay.
That's all I asked.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm just figuring out the financials. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4 of you full-time. Mm-hmm. You, your then boyfriend, not the current boyfriend, mm-hmm. and 2 of your children full-time, 2 of your children part-time, on the one hand, paying rent, and then your grandmother.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you...
Around $500.
Not around. I don't want to know around. How much did you give her every month?
Honestly, it was 500 and something, and I can't remember the dollar amount.
How much did your grandmother give you every month towards rent?
$500.
Well, that should cover her portion of the rent and also utilities. You have 6 people. She's one person. Okay. Who actually wrote out the check for utilities?
We paid it online. But it came out of my account after she gave me the cash.
Great. Now, which month didn't your daughter pay?
July and August.
Why?
I have my August bill. She turned off the power the day my grandmother moved out the house, but I was paid in full up until she moved out. And then I started the bills on August 1st.
Just a second. Can you show me a statement where there was outstanding utility bill that you were held responsible for?
So my name's on the top. And that's her address. That's just the power. The gas is right here, and it's not as clear as how they broke that one down
Just a second.
where she lived.
Did you pay this bill?
Yes, ma'am.
You have proof that you paid this bill?
Yeah, if you flip it over, what they did was I have a payment plan, and what they do is they pull it right out of my payment plan.
I have a
And
bank
it
statement
shows-
proving that she did fraud on my account to attempt to supposedly pay said bills without my knowledge.
Was she successful in trying
No,
to
I
pay?
stopped the payments.
Was she successful in trying to pay it out of your account? The answer is no. You stopped it.
I stopped the payments.
Okay, so you owe her $332.10.
But what about my counterclaim?
$332.
For the false statements?
Just a second. I haven't gotten to your counterclaim yet,
Okay.
which is going to be very interesting. Talk about dysfunction all over the place. All right, so let me see if I understand your counterclaim. So far, you owe your mother $332.10.
Excuse
This is
me,
your
ma'am.
counterclaim.
There's two bills, power and gas. So the other one's $34.18. There's two separate documents you have that are stapled, each separate
Oh,
stapled.
okay. Got it. $366. Now, the counterclaim is slightly more interesting than a utility bill. Forget hacking into your account. You turn that back. Filing a false CPS and child abuse charge. Okay, so let me see if I understand what you're suggesting in that. What you're suggesting is that you didn't want your grandmother living with you anymore because, according to you, the FBI was investigating her.
They were.
So you told her to leave.
Yes.
In retaliation for that, your grandmother called your mother and told your mother that your current boyfriend was abusing your children. That's what you said.
Yes, and we were
Sure,
clear.
Your mother called for a police check, which resulted in a Child Protective Services investigation.
No, she called CPS after we were cleared because the cops wouldn't do anything. And it's right here in the police statement that I have.
Perfectly reasonable. Perfectly reasonable. So let me understand this. Your mother gets a call from her mother, who lives with you, who tells her daughter that your boyfriend, is that you?
Yes.
Was abusing your children. Your mother has several choices. She can ask you, is your boyfriend abusing the children? Which you would respond, absolutely not.
I told her no.
Just a second. That's akin to doing nothing. Or she can call the authorities and say, I want an investigation because I understand from my mother that there may be abuse going on in the house.
No, ma'am, that is not what happened.
Your Honor, I
You just
have a-
said that's what you say what
No.
happened.
She had come down and asked to see the kids at 11:30 at night, and I wouldn't let her see them due to them being asleep. She told me then that if I wouldn't let her see the kids, that she would call the cops to do a welfare check. They showed up about midnight 30, woke up my kids, questioned everybody, pulled us out of the house, and we were cleared that night. My grandma admitted in the police report that no abuse was done.
Let me read to you what you say. Your mother, in her statement, by the way, says in August of 2018, I assume is the unsettling call from her mother, advising her that something was going on with the boyfriend. I assume this boyfriend, since it's now 2018 and you've moved on. Your answer says, in June, I discovered the FBI was investigating my grandmother. So I wanted her out of the house and away from my children. My grandmother didn't want to leave and told my mother that my boyfriend was abusing my children. That's what you wrote.
Yes, ma'am.
That's when my mother decided to believe her. Put your hand down. And called the police to do a welfare check. That's exactly what I would have done. Exactly what I would have done. That's what I would hope that every person would do if they got such a phone call from their parent, especially when you have a revolving door of boyfriends in your house.
I do not have a revolving door of boyfriends.
You owe your mother $366. Your counterclaim's dismissed. Judgment for the plaintiff. We're finished.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Skiba versus Wolf. Step forward.
Kathleen Skiba is suing her former friend, Joshua Wolf, for money owed for a Crown Victoria.
Mr. Wolf, what kind of work do you do?
I do construction.
Do you work for yourself or for a company?
I work for myself.
Who do you...
Yeah.
Now, you used to work as a caretaker for the plaintiff.
Yes.
From what year to what year?
I was not year to year. I worked for Miss Skiba for one job. It was fixing her toilet and installing her furnace.
And you did that when?
Last October.
When did you start to rent her home from her?
October 1st,
Of last year.
2018, yes.
And did you have a written lease with her?
Yes.
Do you have a copy of that lease?
Yes.
I'd like to see it, please.
a lease.
It is. So it's a land contract. It's not a lease.
It's a land contract, ma'am, not a lease.
I see it. So what you were doing is you were renting to buy.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you both signed this rent to buy. And the contract was made September 4th, 2018.
Yes.
And you were buying the property for $30,000.
Yes, ma'am.
And you were paying interest at 6% a year. And the monthly payments were $350.
Yes, ma'am.
All very neatly in here. Now, during the course of this rent-to-purchase agreement, you were paying her rent every month?
Yes, ma'am.
No.
When did he not pay you rent?
He paid 2 months' rent since last that my mother got, and that's it. And then one...
Do you have, just a second, since October, when you moved in,
Yes.
do you have proof that you made payments on the rent?
I do.
I'd like to see them.
They don't have the evidence with me.
Well, that's what I need.
Okay.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
The agreement was that he was going to drive you around, and in exchange for that, you would give him the car.
Nothing was ever given to
Just,
him.
I will determine whether you sold him the car or gave him the car. That's what we're here for.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Kathleen Skiba says her former friend and tenant, Joshua Wolf, stiffed her on the purchase of a car. Joshua's countersuing for stolen tools and false allegations of domestic abuse.
Do you have proof that you made payments on the rent?
I do.
I'd like to see them.
They don't have the evidence with me.
Well, that's what I need.
Okay.
I have that I have already took him to court, the evidence that he hasn't paid it and that he has to pay.
I'd like to see it. When was the last payment that you received for rent?
Well, I actually told him I wasn't going to take no more
No,
payments.
no.
The last payment I got from him was in January
Of what year?
of 19, this year.
I'm not interested in that. We have October, November, and December. 3 months' rent was before January. Now, did you receive 3 months' rent? October, November, and December.
3 months, correct.
In what month did you advise Mr. Wolf that you had to move back into the house?
I advised him that I was coming back there.
What
It was
day and month?
It was around the end of February. I was really sick from where I was living. I had to get my lungs
Just
flushed.
a sec. I'm not asking you for your
Okay.
story.
All right.
In what month did you tell him that you were coming back to the house?
February.
Now, in what month did you come back to the house?
It's the end of February.
February.
Correct.
Now, this is what the case is about. It is your claim that you came back to the house and that when you came back to the house, you sold him an old car.
Yes.
You sold him the car for $1,250. He hasn't paid you for the car. The defendant says you didn't sell him the car. You came back to the house, lived in the house. It was supposed to be only for a week because you weren't well. You were supposed to look for an apartment. The agreement was that he was going to drive you around and he would come to where you were and take you back to the house. And in exchange for that, you would give him the car. That's what you said, and you actually signed the title over to him.
Yeah,
That would be the house. In what state was the house?
Michigan.
And where did you move to?
I was staying in Livonia, Michigan, and I came there because I was needing a surgery.
No, listen to me.
Ma'am, nothing was ever given to
Just
him.
listen to my questions.
Gotcha.
I will determine whether you sold him the car or gave him the car. That's what we're here for.
Right.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
So I picked him up, and he came and stayed the night at my house, and we drove back in the morning.
So he actually stayed over.
He stayed over.
Working for you to help you move.
Right, because I'm disability, ma'am.
Listen, that's unfortunate for you, but as far as the law is concerned, that means that I don't care.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Kathleen Skiba says her former friend and tenant, Joshua Wolf, stiffed her on the purchase of a car. Joshua's countersuing for stolen tools and false allegations of domestic abuse.
Now, did the defendant come to your home where you were living to bring you back to the house that he was renting to own in the car?
No, I picked him up. in my
From-
car.
You drove.
I drove in my Camaro.
Just, you drove.
Yes.
What month was that? February?
Yes.
So you drove from where you were in February and picked him up. And then what did you do after you picked him up?
We drove back the next day and
You drove back?
with the car.
Just a second.
And my
Sure.
U-Haul.
You picked him up and drove him to where you were staying. That's a yes or a no?
Yes.
Where you had rented a U-Haul.
Yes.
That's a yes or a no?
That would be yes.
And how long did it take, once you picked him up, to drive back? How many hours or miles was
They
it?
stayed the night. We left first thing in the morning,
Just
about 6 hours.
So he drove back with you 6 hours to where you were. You stayed at his home.
No, he stayed at my home.
No. He was renting to own the house. So
Well,
you were
I
staying.
was renting
you
where
were-
I was
no,
living. So I picked him up, and he came and stayed the night at my house, and we drove back in the morning.
Just a second. So he actually stayed over.
He stayed over
working
my
for you to help you move.
Right, because I'm disability, ma'am.
Listen, that's unfortunate for you, but as far as the law is concerned, that means an I don't care.
Right.
You picked him up,
Right.
drove him back 6 hours to your house with his son?
Yes.
Yes, the two of them drove back 6 hours. Both of them slept over at your house, helped you load up the U-Haul from the house that he was renting to own that you said you had to stay in for a while, or whatever. Because your lawsuit has to do with $1,250 for a car. All I want you to show me is proof of how much you paid the defendant and his son to move you.
Well,
No.
I don't have anything because they said they would do it for him never giving me any rent, basically, because he never pays me nothing. And he stayed there also.
No, that's just a second.
Since
That's what.
August.
Just a second. That's what you told me. You told me he moved in October and he paid October, November, and December's rent, and you gave him the car in exchange for moving you 12 hours with his son. Not only him, he brought his son to move your stuff.
Because
in
he didn't
exchange
have a
for that, your
license,
case is
ma'am,
dismissed.
and I
We're
never
done.
gave him
We're done with your
nothing.
case.
Would
Listen
you like
to me.
to see the
We're
pictures
done.
of the legal activity going in my house? That's why I left.
Listen to me. We are done
He's
with
still
your
in
case.
my home.
I don't care.
He owes me thousands.
Listen to me. I don't care.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Have you been cheated? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Your lawsuit here has to do with a car.
That he owes
period.
me.
And I find that car, to move you in February,
But he
was
also lived in my home for months with no money also, ma'am, before.
Very good. You have title to the car?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
It's your car. Now,
Now he can pack the
Now-
boxes in it and leave my home. That's great.
now, you have a counterclaim for your tools.
Yes, I do, ma'am.
Very good. You still living in the house?
Yes, I am.
Show me the last rent check you sent to her.
Actually, I don't have the last rent check because I told her.
Then your counterclaim's dismissed. We're done. Over.
Okay.
Goodbye.
See ya.
Goodbye.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
He can actually pack his boxes and get out of my house when we get home because I have an attorney, and he will be out real soon.
It's unfortunate that I left my receipts inside my folder, inside my backpack.
Because he won't pay. He's still not paying. It's been almost a year.
Because she's full of fraudulent everything. I paid every bill except the last 3 months of that house.
He was just supposed to pay me. I'm not going to give a stranger a car.
She threw away over $5,000 worth of my tools. That's my livelihood.
Oh, he had drugs all growing in my house, and he got rid of them, and
Growing marijuana, it's recreational in Michigan.
just disgusting. Want him out, and I'm going to get him out as soon as I get home.
I've always helped her no matter what, and
Mom gave until it hurt.
she needed help with her rent.
So 2 months later, she hadn't paid you back, and she wanted phones.
Yes, that's a lot of money to just hand over.
But her daughter's attitude was hurtful.
I just thought that they were gifts initially. She's always buying my kids gifts and taking them out.
You're old enough to have 4 children. You're old enough to pay your own rent.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Patricia Riley is suing her daughter, Kristen Lazama, for the cost of 4 laptops, 3 cell phones, and a loan for rent.
Order. All rise. It's case number 27 on the calendar in the matter of Riley versus Lezama.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Folks, have a seat.
Mr. Riley, the defendant is your daughter, and you claim a series of loans to her that were really to her and her husband.
Yes, to myself.
Your husband's name is George?
Yes,
Where is he?
he's at work.
Well, it started in February 2018. She needed help with her rent.
February of 2018. That's
Yes.
well over a year ago. And how much was that loan?
That loan with helping with the rent and then purchasing laptops for the kids was $1,030.
Rent, I understand that they were having some difficulty. Why did you purchase laptops for her children?
For schoolwork. She asked me if I could help them get some laptops for schoolwork.
And you're their grandmother.
Yeah, I'm their grandmother.
I'm not interested in
Okay.
buying them laptops for school, for your
Okay.
grandchildren. Buy them. 2018, how much did you give her for rent?
$450 for rent in February.
Okay. And when was the next money that you gave her?
I loaned her $100 in April for 3 prepaid telephones so we could keep in touch.
Just a second. So 2 months later, she hadn't paid you back any money
Yes.
from February, and she wanted phones.
Yes.
So you bought prepaid phones for $100.
Yes.
What's next?
September 2018 was the last loan. They were having some financial difficulties once again, and I helped with utilities and rent and, personal stuff, and that was $1,595.
And you hadn't gotten any money back from February
She's my
of
daughter,
2000
Your Honor.
Just a second. You hadn't gotten any money back from February of 2018, and you hadn't gotten any money back for the $100 that you laid out for phones, right? And other things and personal things.
Yes, ma'am.
7 months later.
Yes, ma'am.
Having not been paid back anything before.
Yes, ma'am.
That's what mothers do.
Yes, that's what mothers do, but
Right.
they were all stipulated as loans.
Well, I didn't hear anything about a loan. I heard about help me out.
She needed help. I helped her, but we discussed that it would be a loan because that's a lot of money to just hand over.
Well, if it was a lot of money, then you wouldn't have given her money 7 months after
She's
she
my
hadn't paid you
daughter.
back. I'm speaking. If it was a loan and she hadn't been a good payer and hadn't paid you back a penny of what you gave her 7 months before, you wouldn't have given her another loan.
But I did, Your Honor. I did give her another loan.
Then I don't think that you had any reasonable expectation of being repaid.
I
That's
was
what a
hopeful,
loan is.
very hopeful.
That's what a loan is. A loan is when you have a reasonable expectation of being repaid. But if you have no reasonable expectation of being repaid, which I haven't heard, because February, $450. Another couple of months later, another $100. 7 months later, another $1,500. And all the while, you haven't gotten paid back a penny from now over a year ago.
That's true.
So you want to tell me what it is that got a bee in your bonnet?
They got
All of a sudden,
All of a
starting
sudden-
from February of 2018, we're now in May.
Yes. Well, we have multiple conversations about getting paid back.
No, I want to know what's the bee in your bonnet
Oh,
now.
I'm not. I recently was declared disabled, and while I'm waiting for disability, I have no income, and I wanted my daughter to start paying me back so I could have money to live
So
on.
you asked her if she would...
I asked her if she would
So-
please.
Tell me the conversation you had with her and when it was and whether it was on the phone or in person.
Well, the last conversation that we had, I was in person, I believe, at her house, her home, and I asked
Tell
her.
me what month and year.
It was early this year, our last conversation, I believe.
Well, give me the month and year.
April.
Oh, December, I'm sorry, December 2018. 2018, I'm sorry. I'm a little nervous.
And at her home.
Yes.
Well, tell me about the conversation.
I asked her if she could start paying me back because they had both started working, and that I really needed the money and that I was desperate until I got my disability, that I had no income.
And what did she say?
She said, Mom, I really don't have the money, but I'll try.
Okay, and?
And I asked, it didn't happen. It just didn't happen. It's heartbreaking for me to even be here, honestly, because I love my daughter.
So the question is, why are you here?
Because I want her to be responsible for what she says. Because I've always helped her no matter what. And
Who do you live with, Miss Riley?
Oh, I live with my boyfriend.
Is that your boyfriend?
That's my son. He lives in Sacramento. I live in the North Bay in Petaluma.
What does your boyfriend do?
Right now, he's currently disabled as well.
How long has he been out on disability?
Probably about 8 months.
And how long have you been on disability?
I haven't got it yet, ma'am. It's not approved yet. I'm still waiting.
When did you apply? What kind of work were you doing?
I worked for A&J Custom Farming. I delivered fuel to the guys in the fields doing hay.
For how long?
I did that for almost a year and a half.
Before that?
Before that, I worked in construction in Merced, California, where my daughter currently lives.
And what's the nature of your disability?
I have peripheral artery disease, and I have bilateral cardiac stenosis, and lungs are affected from the fires that we had up north.
Did you apply for disability?
Yes.
The answer is yes.
Yes.
Were you initially rejected from
Yes.
disability? Did you hire an attorney?
Yes, I did.
And so now you're in the appeals process?
Yes.
How long ago did you apply for disability?
In November, when I first...
November of 2018?
18, yes.
Your Honor, can I say something?
Sure.
The reason this became more difficult for my mom in the early 2019 is because of her medical situation. So I stepped in to help financially, help her get through bills and such. And that's when me and my sister had multiple conversations about paying my mom back. And when you described it...
Tell me when you first had a conversation with your sister.
It would have started in late 2018 as well, at some time, when the larger loan took place. That's kind of when my mom's financial situation became a little more difficult, and I was helping my mom out financially. So
What kind of work do you do?
I work for a utility company.
What did your sister say to you?
She had all the intention to pay her back. She just didn't have it at that time, and that conversation repeated itself. So it put a lot of stress on me, ultimately, in trying to help my mom financially, and that's kind of put a strain between the three of us over time.
What about her husband?
I don't have much dialogue with her husband. Never had conversation with him about it before.
Is there a reason for that?
Not necessarily, no.
Him.
He works a lot, and we live in different cities, so my contact is usually with my sister.
Do you get along with your son-in-law?
For the most part, I try to.
Your daughter suggests in her answer to your complaint that the reason you're asking for this money now is because you had some sort of an argument with your son-in-law.
Oh, we've argued on multiple occasions, but I try not to argue with him. I know because it just puts pressure on, my grandkids and the home life, so. But it's not because we argue that I'm asking for this money. I've been asking for it, for some kind of payment for months. Even $10, $20, anything to help me out. And nothing.
Okay, now I'm ready to hear from you.
I didn't pay her back any of the money or try to make payments. We lived in the same town all the time. She's always buying my kids gifts and taking them out.
I'm not talking about gifts.
So,
I'm talking only about rent.
Okay.
How many months' rent did your mother pay for you?
I would say...
No, I don't want you to, I would say.
3.
Think.
3.
And how much is your rent?
$450.
Rent, and you have how many children?
4.
4 children. Mm-hmm. And your husband is the father of all 4 of these children?
He's not the father of any of my children.
He's not the father of any of them?
No.
Do you get child support from any of the fathers?
No, I don't.
Oh, well, you must have picked a bunch of winners.
Well, no, but their dads do help take care of them. Just never had a child support case or custody. I never went to court for it because I don't feel I don't need it.
How do they take care of them?
Well, they see them equally just as much as I do and provide for them whatever they need.
So what you're saying is you share custody with them?
Yes.
Is that what you're saying? What do you mean, yes? They're your 4
Well, because
children.
I just recently went to custody with 3 children I have with one, and then my eldest is with another, with somebody else. So for my 3 children, we do have a shared custody agreement that we just recently went to court for.
How often are the 3 children with their father?
Every day. So Monday through Friday, I get my kids after school until about 7 or 8 p.m., and I take them home, and then every other weekend, they spend the night with me.
Let's go a little slower.
Okay, so Monday through
Friday, you see your children and father.
Yes.
Is that all the time, except for weekends occasionally with you?
Every other weekend, yes.
So the children live with their father?
Yes.
The children, 3 of them, live with their father, and you see them alternate weekends and after school?
Yes.
And how old is the 4th child?
He'll be 17 in July.
And who does he live with?
Me.
Full time?
Yes.
450 times 3 is 1350. Your mother doesn't pay the rent. You have 4 children. You're old enough to have 4 children. You're old enough to pay your own rent. 1350. Did you pay a direct utility bill?
No, I did, but I couldn't find it, the receipt for it, because it was so long going in her name, so.
Can't help you.
Yeah, I figured, yeah.
1350.
Okay, Your Honor, that's for the utilities and the rent?
No, that's just for 3 months' rent.
Okay.
And you don't have any utility bills.
No.
She acknowledges that you paid 3 months of her rent. You don't have to do that.
Okay.
You want to buy cell phones for people, laptops for your grandchildren, you can do that if you want to. I'm not interested in that. That's your problem. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of 1350. We're finished.
Your Honor, what about excuse me, I'm sorry. The additional loan that she loaned her at the
Did you understand what I said?
Yes, that's, yeah.
I do.
$13.50, which is 3 months' rent. She's old enough to have 4.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I'm hoping me and my daughter can start repairing our relationship from here because I love her very much.
Like my mom said, I just want to move forward.
I'm not going to be rule-free loaning money, but...
But I just hope that we can now move forward and better ourselves.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Berger versus Berger. Step forward.
Kristen Berger is suing her father, Joe Berger, for her wages being garnished after he failed to pay a court judgment on a vehicle.
Miss Berger, the defendant is your father, and it is your claim that when you were 19, your father bought you a car. He didn't pay it off. I assume that from the case, you and your father were both named on the loan for the car.
Correct.
And it's now years later. How old are you now?
27.
And you've gone on, you've finished college. This car was bought when you were in college. Gone on, finished your degrees, working, own a house, put some money in the bank, and all of a sudden, a huge chunk of money was taken out of your bank, over $8,000. And it was for a judgment that had accrued as a result of the car not being paid off. Is your claim that your father purchased the car for you, and it was his responsibility to pay for the car? Your father says that wasn't the deal. He put down the down payment. You were supposed to pay for the car.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
We then got it towed back. She wanted it removed, so we put it in my aunt's backyard.
And where is it now?
It's still there.
7 years? She must have a big backyard.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Christine Berger says her father, Joe Berger, failed to pay a court judgment, which resulted in her wages being garnished.
Okay, how many children do you have, Mr. Berger?
I have 2.
How old are they?
My son is, 30-something?
What does he do?
33, I think.
What does he do?
He's a security officer.
Where does he live?
He lives in Maryland.
Do you have children?
Yes, he does.
How many?
5.
And your daughter's 27. She finished school. She got a master's.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
She owns her own home. So with regard to her education, she did pretty well.
I'm proud of my daughter.
When she was 19 and she came home for the summer, your wife is not her mother. You and your wife have been married a long time, but that's her stepmother. Who went shopping for the car?
Me and my wife did.
And who found the car?
We both did. We found the car and we actually
You and your wife?
Yes, me and my wife. And we actually took a picture of it, sent it to my daughter, let her see if she liked it or whatever, and she agreed, and we proceeded from there.
And you put down the car was $6,000 some odd dollars?
Yes.
And so we're talking about 8 years ago.
Long time, yes.
But the car didn't run well.
No, it didn't.
And you tried to return the car.
Yes, I did.
What happened when you tried to return the car?
They told me that they couldn't give me my money back and that, it'd be a default. I said, okay, that's fine. I said, I don't need the money back. I just want to give you the car back because definitely don't want a car that's not running right. You refuse to fix it, so just take the car back. I'll take my loss and cut my losses and be good with it. And they said, no, we don't want that. They refused to do it.
So what did you do?
I just in turn, at that time, I believe...
So what did you do with the car, Mr. Berger? Now, your daughter comes home from college. She can't use the car because the car's not running. It's constantly giving her trouble. As a good parent, you say, I'm not letting my daughter ride around in this car. You try to take it back to the dealer. The dealer said, listen, it's a used car. You bought it as is. We're not taking it back.
Yeah.
That's 8 years ago. So what did you do with the car?
I didn't do anything with the car. My daughter actually had the car for, I think it was basically a whole semester. She drove it.
A semester.
Yeah.
I know, but then she came home for the summer, and you tried to return it.
Yes, I didn't do anything with the car. At that point in time, it was, as far as I know, was parked in her auntie's backyard after that time.
Who parked it in her aunt's backyard?
I guess she did. I really don't know.
Who parked it in your aunt's backyard?
The car was towed from my mother's house, and from there, his ex-wife was given the vehicle to drive while I went back to school, and it broke down on her. And we had to go and tow it from her house. And we then got it towed back to my mother's house. And later on, it was leaking in her driveway, oil and things. She wanted it removed. So we put it in my aunt's backyard.
And where is it now?
It's still there. 7
years?
Yes.
She must have a big backyard.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
When did you get a lawyer?
The 23rd.
Is he attempting to negotiate this loan for you?
Yes, he's been attempting to negotiate the loan.
Right. So you don't know how much eventually you're going to have to pay on it.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Christine Berger says her father, Joe Berger, failed to pay a court judgment, which resulted in her wages being garnished.
Now, who has the title to the car?
I do.
Can I see it?
Yes.
Mr. Berger, did you give your former wife the car to drive around for a while?
Yes, she drove it probably a month.
I don't care, but she drove it a month. Your daughter had gone back to school?
Yes.
She had gone back to a month before it broke down?
It was still running, Your Honor, at the time.
So how did it get to her mother's house?
That's where it was parked.
Well, I know it was parked there, but
Yes,
your ex-wife was using it.
She used it for about a month until she got her vehicle.
My question to you is, how did the car get to your daughter's mother's house? Was it driven there?
It was driven there. It was parked there, yes.
Parking and driving it are two different things. Was it driven there or was it towed there?
It was driven there.
By whom?
My ex-wife drove it and parked it there.
Is that correct?
No, it's not. We had to call Geico. That's who I was insured by at the time, and they came to tow the vehicle.
Well, this is the registration. You don't have the title.
No, ma'am. It's a lien on it. They said once, you know, all my monies and everything were processed, that I would receive the title from the lien.
Well, they got your money, according to you.
They did. I have a statement from the bank.
When did they take the money out?
It was on hold April 22nd. By May 6th, they had to respond to them, letting them know how much money I actually had.
Well, how much money do you actually owe?
It's the full $8,400.
Well, that's interest. Did you try to negotiate that amount of judgment with them?
Yes, I did get a lawyer.
Yes, you did. When did you get a lawyer?
The 23rd.
Of what?
April. Be of my retainer as well.
Is Mr. attempting to negotiate this loan for you?
Yes, he's been attempting to negotiate a loan.
Right. So you don't know how much eventually you're going to have to pay on it.
Yes, the settlement is open. We're going to sign the papers once I return home. They settled for $5,000.
I want to see that.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Are you in a family dispute? Go to judgejudy.com, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter.
Okay. So you don't know how much eventually you're going to have to pay on it.
They settled for $5,000.
I want to see that.
Okay.
Where is it?
On my phone, an email from him, from my lawyer.
I'd like to see it.
It's forwarded from their lawyer to mine.
Okay. So it looks as if for $5,000 you're settling what is owed on the car.
Yes.
Between you and your father, that's $2,500 apiece. And how much is the lawyer getting paid?
I had to give him $1,000.
That means, sir, you're stuck with $3,000. $2,500 for your half of the loan and $500 for the lawyer who negotiated it down. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $3,000. By the way, that check gets made payable to the credit union. We're done.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
It is what it is. I mean, nothing I can do about it.
It's been extremely frustrating.
I don't think I owe anything on the vehicle. I mean, I paid what I could pay on it.
It's upsetting that I even had to get to this point.
I hope we can move forward for this. I love my daughter to death. There's nothing's going to change with that.
It's time for me to take care of myself and get my bills taken care of.
You were going across 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lanes of traffic.
Yes.
A wheelchair on the road went unnoticed.
Did you see her?
No.
There's no question that you hit her.
We collided, yes.
No, you hit her.
But the judge can grab her attention.
Your Honor, she should not have even been driving. She had no insurance.
That's interesting.
Is that true?
Hey!
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Jessica Edwards is suing motorist Jessica Jacobson for hitting her while she was crossing the road in her wheelchair.
Order. All rise. It's case number 20 on the calendar in the matter of Edwards versus Jacobson.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Party's been sworn in. You may be seated.
Miss Edwards, Miss Jacobson hit you when you were riding in your mobility scooter as you were crossing the street.
Correct.
There's no question that you hit her. Is that correct?
Yes, we collided, Your Honor. Yes.
What?
We collided, yes.
No, you hit her. And the issue is whether or not Miss Jacobson was negligent and is responsible for whatever injuries you had, which was actually the loss of your mobility scooter. You say that that was severely damaged. You weren't, fortunately, severely injured.
No, I had road rash on left leg, losing 2 layers of skin.
But fortunately, you weren't seriously injured.
No.
Okay. I'm looking at that diagram, and in between the 2 yellow lines, is that a turn lane?
It's both for pulling off in case you break down and a turn lane.
But it's not a driving lane.
No.
And you were in that turning lane, Miss Jacobson, because you were turning into that driveway.
Yes, I was, Your Honor.
That's where you live.
No, I live behind it.
Okay, you were visiting someone there?
No, I was turning around to my apartment because I'd forgotten something. I had to get back.
Okay, so you were going to make a U-turn.
No, not a U-turn. I was going to go in the driveway, come back out, and then...
You weren't going in. You had forgotten something, so you were going home.
Yes, which is westbound of that traffic fire.
It's okay. Tell me what you forgot at home.
Well, I left an associate at my door, and I realized I had an appointment that he might need the materials needed to work on a project in my garage. So I went back because I saw somebody pulling in as I left my apartment, which is west of those.
So you realized that you had to get home, and it was sort of an emergency that you had to get home.
Not at all, no.
Okay. I want you to go over to that because it's easier for you than it is for Miss Edwards to maneuver.
Okay.
You were turning into which driveway, so that we're clear?
This is the 820 apartment complex?
That's Miss Edwards' apartment complex.
Correct.
Correct?
Yes.
And you were going home.
Correct.
Yes. And
Where had...
Where'd I come from?
No.
Oh.
I know where you were coming from, and I know that you were either going to go into the complex and make a left-hand turn into the complex and go around and come out, or if there was no traffic coming from the other side, you were going to make a U-turn. There's no question in my mind that those were the 2 options. I don't know which one it was because I'm not in your mind. If it were me, if there was nobody coming from the other way, and if my car could clear it, I would have made the U-turn. Right? Right. Now, there were cars coming from the other way, I would wait and turn in, and I want you to give me anything.
Okay.
Now, you're in your mobility scooter, and I assume, Miss Edwards, where there is a brake. Bird, would you go over to that drawing? Do you see where there is a break in the bottom that looks as if it's a path? Yes. Is that where you entered the street? So you entered there because there's a cut in the driveway?
It's a driveway that I came out of.
Just a second. It's a driveway.
Correct.
When you say it's a driveway, are there houses there?
From an apartment complex in back of the bus stop.
Okay.
And it's solid curb in front of the bus stop, so to get out, you have to go down the sidewalk to the driveway.
It's not designed to be handicap accessible. That's not why it's there. It's a driveway. Can cars go in there?
Yes.
Okay, so it's a driveway. It's not designed for you.
Correct.
And you were actually traveling diagonally in order to get into your driveway.
There's about a 5-degree diagonal.
Whatever it is, this is your diagram.
Yes.
You were traveling at a diagonal, which means you were going across 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lanes of traffic in a diagonal.
Yes. The nearest crosswalk is more than a half-mile down the street.
Where were you coming from, Miss Edwards?
I had gotten off the bus at where that light blue square is down at the bottom.
Okay. Now, you're traveling, and you know that you are not... Thank you, Bert. You know that you're not at a legitimate crosswalk.
Correct.
So you have to exercise far more care since you're not...
And I did.
Well, evidently not. But let's see whether you did or whether you didn't. So you're traveling diagonally. You can go back.
Okay.
When, for the first time, Miss Edwards, did you see the defendant's car?
I never saw it.
Well, you were facing in the direction...
Of the driveway.
Of the driveway. And she's coming from your left, correct?
Correct.
Where was Miss Jacobson, where was the damage to your car?
What little there was may have been to the front bumper of the passenger side. I never looked to ascertain that. But there's one discrepancy, Your Honor. May I point it out?
There's what?
A discrepancy with her drawing.
Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. The aerial is it's non-biased. It will...
Hold on just a second.
Okay, here we've got... This is a bus terminal stop where there's people that... There's no driveway here. The driveway's another 45 feet probably west of this. She's coming from out of Parkview. If she came out of this bus terminal or bus stop where they let her off, then she did come across the 2 lanes of traffic.
That's what
At a diagonal, but...
Just back.
Okay.
Step back.
Okay,
right there. See, sometimes you really have to keep quiet.
I'm sorry, I need to go this way.
Where you are, as you were.
Okay. There's a distance issue, though.
Miss Jacobson, see, sometimes you just have to listen and say, where is this fact finder? Because I'm the fact finder going. You just described to me what Miss Edwards did, that she got out of the bus and she was going across 3 lanes of traffic. Well, that would presuppose that you saw her. Well, then you can't tell me what she did.
No, she just said
No, you're
what
guessing what she did.
Just said
no,
what she did.
I know what she said. I have ears. You don't have to repeat to me what she said. I'm of sound mind. That's why they still keep me here.
But there's no no driveway there. It's only a sidewalk.
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
You can't tell me what you think happened unless you saw her.
Right, exactly.
Did you see her?
Not at all. Not until she was right in front of the headlight of my passenger vehicle.
So you have 2 defenses to this. You have the defense that the scooter shouldn't have been there.
Yes.
And your second defense is that your car is too high, so you didn't see her.
Yeah.
Do you have another defense?
I do, Your Honor.
What's the other defense?
Well, like I'm saying, there's a distance issue with where she's got this diagram. First of all, the
Just a
bus
second.
terminal...
Listen to me.
Okay.
She has a certain... You, who are driving a vehicle, have to look where they're going.
Yes.
And if I saw someone in a wheelchair crossing the street, if I was paying attention to what I was doing, I wouldn't hit them with the front bumper of my car if I was paying attention. She didn't scoot into the front end of your bumper.
That's not what happened. What I was trying to get at is that we merged at a V point where the collision was.
That's impossible. It's impossible that you merged at a V point. If you merged at a V point, you would have to be coming from the opposite direction.
No, we're both traveling the same direction.
No, you weren't going in the same direction.
Yes, we were, Your Honor.
Your Honor.
Listen to me. If you merge at a V point, Miss Jacobson, you would have to be coming from the lower right-hand corner of that picture if you merge at a V point. If you're going in the same direction because she's turning and you are, you're not at a V point. Either she hit you on the side of your car or you hit her with the front of your car. And you hit her with the front of your car.
No, I did not.
Your Honor, she should not have even been driving. She had no insurance.
Just a second. That's interesting.
That's not true.
Hey! Were you driving your car without insurance?
No, ma'am, I was not. Not ever once.
Just a second. Interesting. I'm going to take a break. You go back and get me proof.
March
12th, you had insurance on your car. I'll wait here. Go.
Good luck. I might have it. I might not. I'll be right
No,
back.
just a second. If you don't have it,
I know.
then you didn't have it.
I have it.
If you can't produce it for me in 5 minutes, that means that you don't have insurance. Do you understand?
Oh, yeah.
Don't waste my time. Because that really will irritate me if you waste my time.
I understand.
Did you have a paid-up policy of liability insurance on your car on March 12th?
Without any uncertainty whatsoever, yes.
Go and show me proof.
I have a copy
Just
of
a
the
second.
police report.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Are you telling me that the police department has it in for you for some reason, Ms. Jacobson?
Yeah.
Are you telling me the entire police department has
Not
it
the
in for some
entire.
old lady? And the district attorney
No.
has it in for you
No, I have a
for some
detective.
unknown reason.
And later today,
He gave you back $5,000. So far, you're $500 ahead of the game. Okay? Do you understand where I'm going?
No.
You don't?
No, because I
Yeah,
paid him much more than
the
that.
smile that you have on your face suggests to me that you know exactly where I'm going.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Jessica Edwards says, motorist Jessica Jacobson the road in her wheelchair.
Okay, Ms. Jacobson, I'd like to see what you have. Okay, this says that the effective date of this policy when it was issued was September 16th, 2018, and it's good until March 16th, 2019. So this is an insurance identification card, which means that if Miss Jacobson paid her insurance premiums, then she would have had liability insurance. You say she has no insurance.
I have a copy of the police report.
no insurance.
Yes, I did, Your Honor. That police report is nullified because I have insurance that doesn't mention the police officer that hit me 2 months prior to that either. My insurance company was not correct in their findings. When they reported that day, it was not. I have a $542
Just a second.
check.
This is the narrative. Unified Police Department. It says Jessica Jacobson was found to be the driver of the vehicle without insurance. I called Insurite and confirmed that there was no insurance. Jessica said that there was no insurance after she made a few calls. The insurance. Was your car impounded? Was your car impounded?
Yes, it was, but I never made one call.
Just a second.
I never
The question is, was your car impounded?
Yes, wrongfully. It's still sitting there waiting for litigation against the Salt Lake Unified Police Department.
When did you get your car out of impound?
I have not yet. Like I said, it's still sitting there. That's part of the problems I've had because the Salt Lake Unified Police Department...
You're not supposed to be driving.
You're
not supposed to be
Your Honor,
driving.
I was completely insured at that moment in time, and I'm not going to go on anything less. That is the absolute fact, and I'm not going to say anything more. I mean, you're going to go off hearsay that is incorrect.
No. This is a business record.
It's not a business record.
Hey, listen to me. Do you have a lot to do with courts?
No, but I know what I've been through.
Just a second. You have a lot to do with courts. I know that you have troubles. Believe me, I've been in this business a very long time, so I know that you have troubles. Because I know that you have troubles. Just because you have an insurance card that says that you had an effective policy on a certain date, if you don't pay the premiums on that policy, that means that the policy lapses, expired. The police officer, and this is a business record, it comes in, it's not hearsay, it comes under a business record rule, says that you acknowledged to the police officer at the scene that you had no insurance. We're now in May. If you had insurance, you would have gotten your car back. There was probably more to it, a lot more. A lot more that I don't have to get into right now. Right.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And later today...
You can prove to me that you paid him $4,500.
No, I can show you that I paid him the $10,000.
No, I don't care about the receipt that you are going to show me. That doesn't fly with me. Do you understand?
Yes.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Jessica Edwards says motorist Jessica Jacobson ran into her while she was crossing the road in her wheelchair.
Now, there's a reason that for the last 3 months you don't have your car if you had insurance and you had no other troubles. So you weren't supposed to be behind the wheel of a car.
That's not true. That's not true whatsoever.
My God.
I promise you that is not true. I can show you, if you want to go in and call a West Jordan agent with Geico, he'll tell you I haven't made payments every month, and there's also a huge escalation in payments. After
You mean the police department? Are you telling me that the police department has it in for you for some reason, Ms. Jacobson?
Their officer hit me.
Are you telling me is that what you're saying to me?
Not the entire officer hit me on January 10th at noon, and he did not claim it, and he did not own it, and he didn't report it to police.
All I'm asking you is, now is what you're saying to me that the entire police department and the district attorney has it in for you
I have a detective.
for some unknown reason.
I have a detective that runs me on errands all week.
We both know that you have a problem.
No, we don't.
Yeah, judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $5,000.
Okay, well,
goodbye.
Good luck.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
She did hit me. She claims she didn't see me.
3 officers stayed with me when I went across the street to park and watched the whole incident take place.
My wheelchair spun.
And then the paramedics and others came with her.
And threw me into the lane she had been driving from.
Yes, one was cited to me for non-insurance, and that's what we're fighting in court right now.
And so I was straddling the median and her lane.
I don't know. I'm not ready to be done with it, but I don't think it was a fair hearing.
I inched across to get out of the lane so I wouldn't be a worse case scenario.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Elliott versus Martin. Step forward.
Gregory Alex Elliott is suing Adolfo Rudy Martin for defrauding him regarding luxury suites at a UFC fight.
Let me see if I understand the basic suites of rooms for a sporting event from Mr. Martin. Who does that as a business? How much did you pay him for this block of space at a sporting event.
$13,500.
And you have a check for that.
I don't have a check, but I have invoices to show that I paid him, and I got receipts from it as well.
How did you pay him?
I paid him through PayPal and through a separate transaction with cash of $6,000.
That doesn't fly with me. How much did you pay him that you can prove to me that you paid him by PayPal?
So through PayPal, I could show that I paid him $4,500.
$4,500 is what you can prove to me that you paid him.
Yes, and I could also prove that I gave him $6,000 because he gave me a receipt for it as well.
I don't care about the $6,000. Let's understand this.
Okay.
You can prove to me that you paid him $4,500.
No. I can show you that I paid him the $10,000.
No, I don't care about the receipt that you are going to show me. Do you understand?
Yes.
Perfect.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Yeah, Mr. Martin gave you back how much money?
$5,000.
Turns out that you sold space to so they could go into the suites. They couldn't use the suites because...
He never had access to them in the first place.
Right, and he says he got scammed too. So you say you really out much more money because you sold these suites to people and you had to make good on what you sold them because they couldn't go. How many people did you sell the suites to?
I sold one.
One. To whom?
His name was Daniel, a friend of Rudy's.
For how much?
$2,500.
And Daniel couldn't go.
No, he cannot.
Did you pay Daniel back his money?
I did pay him back $2,500.
Do you have proof of that?
The proof?
No, so far you're ahead of the game. All you can prove to me is that you gave him $4,500 through PayPal. He gave you back, according to you, $5,000. So far you're $500 ahead of the game, which is no lawsuit to me. Okay? Do you understand where I'm going?
No.
You don't?
No, because I paid him much more than that.
The smile that you have on your face suggests to me that you know exactly where I'm going. Now, so far, the only thing that I know or that you can prove to me is that you paid him $4,500 for suites that you couldn't use. You don't have any papers in front of you, sir, which suggests to me that you have no evidence.
No.
So the only evidence that he has that he can establish is that he wants me to believe that he gave you the rest in cash, for which you gave him a receipt, right?
Right.
Yeah, you're done. Where do you come from?
Boise, Idaho.
Okay. Maybe some small claim judge in Boise, Idaho will believe your shtick. I do not. So this is what I'm going to do for you. This is what I'm going to do for you. I'm going to dismiss your case without prejudice, so you can go back to small claims court in Boise, and maybe a judge in Boise will believe you. I don't. Goodbye.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
My argument was it was an investment, and investments aren't guaranteed.
I was scammed out of $13,500.
I was also scammed out of money as well.
The CenturyLink suite director emailed me and said they never sold suites to Rudy Martin.
About $8,000.
If something sounds too good to be true, it probably is.
So you don't think that 15 dogs are enough?
A wannabe dog breeder adds another to her pack.
She said she wanted a female to breed.
Correct.
There's no question that you did not pay for the dog.
And a conflict was born.
No, Your Honor, I don't want her to keep the dog. No.
A month after, you got another puppy. You live in a trailer with 2 young children, and you've got 50.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Dog breeder Celeste Ranger is suing former client, 25-year-old Leslie Eberline, for the return of her dog, the pick of a litter, attorney fees, and slander.
Order. All rise.
Now it's case number 114 on the calendar in the matter of Ranger versus Eberline.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated, sir. Have a seat.
Miss Eberline, I'm going to start with you.
Okay.
This is a breach of contract case. The plaintiff says that you breached a contract to purchase a puppy for money from her and give her the pick of litter from the first litter that puppy had. And the puppy was a Pomeranian, if I'm not mistaken. So I have a few questions for you because there's no question that you did not pay for the dog. And there is also no question from your answer that it is your intention to keep the dog. You said she's become part of your family and that you intend to have her spayed, which would not permit you to fulfill the second part of the contract. Now, your defense is that the plaintiff's running a puppy mill and therefore she shouldn't be entitled to. Who do you live with?
My fiance and my 2 children.
How old are your children?
7 and 3.
How many dogs do you have?
I have 3 Pomeranians.
And what else?
We have beagles.
I want you to tell me how many dogs you have. No.
I have about 12 beagles, Your Honor.
Don't.
That's not true.
Just don't
not true.
speak unless I ask you. You live with your fiance and 2 children, 7 and 3. 3 Pomeranians. What else?
Beagles.
How many?
12.
That's not true, Your Honor.
I don't want to hear from you. Please, let me do my job. 12 beagles. And tell me what size house you have.
A trailer.
You live in a trailer.
Yes.
And where do these 15 dogs live?
The 3 Pomeranians live in my house, and they're able to go outside. We have 17 acres.
The 3 Poms live in your house, and the 12 beagles live where?
We have a large pole barn. I'm not sure of the dimensions of it, but they run in and outside.
Okay, and I would assume that unless you are somehow psychiatrically infirm, the 12 beagles that you have, you sometimes sell beagles? Do you sometimes sell beagles?
Yes.
Yes. And how many of the 12 beagles are puppies?
3.
That's not true.
Miss Ranger, don't annoy me. So we're dealing with, at best, a story of the pot calling the kettle black. Did you ever hear that expression?
Yes.
Yes. So you're complaining that the conditions that the plaintiff's animals live in, and you don't know this because you never saw it.
Right.
She runs a puppy mill. Now, what does your fiancé do for a living?
He does drywall, carpentry.
Drywall. You don't have any degrees in genetics, do you?
No.
Did you ever take biology classes in college?
No, Your Honor. I grew
No.
up on a farm.
No. So you breed dogs, and one of the reasons that you wanted a female dog from Miss Ranger is that you had a male Pomeranian who was 6 months old that you wanted to breed. So you don't think that 15 dogs are enough, along with a 3-year-old. You wanted to have a litter of Pomeranians. Had you ever had a litter of Pomeranians?
No, Your Honor.
No. Now, when you got your Pomeranians, from whom did you get them?
My original one?
Let's talk about all 3.
Okay. A friend.
A friend. A friend whose name was?
I'm not asking you.
Okay. And when did you get the first one from your friend Lottie?
September 2018.
And is that a male or a female?
He's a male.
And did you pay for him?
Yes, I did.
How much?
$650.
Who did you get the second one from?
Celeste.
Who did you get the third one from?
I found her on a Craigslist.
And?
I'm
a female.
A female, yes.
What was the name of the person from whom you bought her? Name of the person from whom you bought her.
Mary.
No, I'm going to call the person. Do you understand? So don't give me the business.
No, Your Honor.
You're a hustler.
Her name. No.
You're a hustler. Hustler.
No.
When did you get the dog from Mary?
March 2019.
Is that a question or is that an answer?
It's an answer.
Good, then don't put a question mark at the end of the sentence.
Okay.
So you got that dog in March?
Yes.
How old is that dog? That's not a hard question.
4 months old.
Female.
Yes.
Now I know who you are. That makes my job much easier in this process. You understand?
Okay.
You thought this was going to be easier? It's not easier. It gets harder because the irresponsibility that you will answer to the plaintiff who was running what you say must be a puppy mill because the dog that you got from her was frightened, etc. So far, I don't know how many animals she had, but I know that your fiancé does drywall. You live in a trailer with 2 young children. One of them was 3 years old, and you've got 15 dogs, all of whom you either plan or have bred to sell for money. Neither of you, I assume, has any degree in chemistry, biology, genetics, none.
Your Honor, can I speak?
Yes. I'm dying to hear you.
I don't have a degree in biology or breeding or whatever, but I interact with my beagles, and I don't breed them for profit.
You mean you give them away?
Some.
Sit down. You know, if something doesn't make sense once you get to be my age, historically, you know, it doesn't make sense. For instance, Pomeranians are little dogs. Little children, not meaning to hurt little dogs, will pick them up, drop them, put them on a chair. Now, your 3 Pomeranians live in a confined quarter with a 3-year-old. And you plan on breeding them so you'll have more living in the... Isn't smart. Now, we're going to leave you. I assume one thing, that you do not have any 3-year-olds living with you.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay. Now, you breed Pomeranians?
I have bred Pomeranians for the last 3 years as I had left.
You bred them for the last 3 years?
That's correct.
How many do you have?
I own 6.
When you sell your Pomeranian puppies, how much do you generally charge for them?
I charge $800 for the male and anywhere from $900 to $1,200 for the female.
Now, where did you get your 6 Pomeranians from?
I bought them from different states throughout the United States, as I wanted them to make sure that even though they are all papered, that they would come from a different state far away so that their genetics would be not
Did you check,
family.
Have any of the Pomeranians that you sell, because selling them from $900 to $1,200 is a substantial fee. Do any of them have champion bloodlines?
Yes, they do.
Some do.
They do.
Okay.
They all are.
Now,
they are all papered or AKC or CKC.
A lot of animals can be AKC.
But they are from champion bloodlines.
Eventually, yes, somewhere down the line. Okay, and how many litters have you had?
Approximately in 3 years, I only have 3 female and 3 male, but approximately in 3 years, probably about 6 or 7 litters.
And how many are there in a litter?
It can be from 1 to 4, typically.
Okay. Now, your lawsuit says that you and the defendant entered into a contract.
Yes.
And the contract provided, when she called you for a puppy, you got her name from a website?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And at that time, according to your complaint, you didn't have any very young puppies.
No, I did have young puppies, but they were only male, and she was looking for female.
And she said she wanted a female to breed.
Correct.
Curiosity, did you ask her whether she had any experience breeding?
No, but she had brought up that her boyfriend had beagles and that he had bred beagles before.
Okay, so they had some experience with breeding dogs.
I guess so.
But she wanted this female to breed.
Yes.
You had a female.
Yes.
That was 18 months old.
Approximately, a little older.
She's lying, Your Honor.
That's not true. Her birthday's April. Her birthday's April.
When did you buy the puppy, Miss Eveline? Month.
January 30th.
That's not true. She got her on the 3rd of February.
What difference? It doesn't make any difference. Please don't fight with each other. It's not particularly germane. And you have papers for that dog?
I do.
And on what date was the puppy born?
April 18th or somewhere in the teens of April of 2017.
So she was about, according to you, since you usually sell your females for breeding purposes, which most people who breed dogs do sell them for more.
That's correct.
I know that from my own dealings with people who breed dogs. I tried it only once myself, and I realized it was not the right...
It's not
a sport.
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work.
And not necessarily everyone is as cooperative as they promise that they will be.
That's correct.
I mean, in your house. So, according to you, you made an agreement with Miss Ebeline for $600.
Yes.
And pick of litter.
Female pick of the litter because they sell for more.
Did you have anything in writing with her?
I did.
May I see it?
Actually, it was over the Facebook instant message that she agreed.
Can I see it?
Yes. Right here, this 3rd page. This is the initial contact, and then it just goes on a couple text messages through instant message, and she agreed.
I can read. Okay, so you bought the puppy, you agreed to her asking price of $600 and a female puppy pick of litter. That was your contract?
No, Your Honor.
Well, show me something different. I'm reading the text messages with photographs back and forth. Okay? So if you said it.
Okay, thank you.
What are you telling me?
What am I telling you with that?
Yeah, what are you showing me with that?
I'm showing you that we talked on the phone after the original asking price. So let's say you buy a car, it's marked at this amount. Well, we talked on the phone.
Just a second. So you're telling me you negotiated with her?
Exactly.
And what did you negotiate with her?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I don't have a problem giving Miss Ranger a puppy.
No. You can't give her a puppy from a spayed dog.
I'm not going to spay her until Celeste gets what she...
Oh, no, I don't trust you as far as I can throw you.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Dog breeder Celeste Ranger says former client Leslie Eberline stole her dog. Leslie's countersuing for attorney fees, lost wages, vet bills, and harassment.
So you're telling me you negotiated with her?
Exactly.
And what did you negotiate with her?
She said it would help her out if I took Jules. She had too many dogs to take care of, too many puppies. She lived in Michigan because she was taking care of her sick mother. Her mother passed away. She wanted me out by getting me into breeding, and she could teach me things and help me.
Listen.
Yeah.
Listen to me carefully.
Okay.
You breached the contract. Whether I believe you, which I don't, or not, you breached at least one term of the contract. You said you can have, according to your evidence, which is only one page, and I have a correspondence from the two of you with the other. According to your, you agreed to give her pick of litter. And then you said you were going to have her spayed. That's what you wrote in your answer, right?
I would like
that's a breach. That's a breach of your contract.
I don't have a problem giving Miss Ranger a puppy.
No. You breached the contract. You can't give her a puppy from a spayed dog.
I'm not going to spay her until Celeste gets what she...
Oh, no, I don't trust you as far as I can throw you.
Okay.
With your Mary story and the other story, and the fact that, according to you, a month after you got the dog from her, that you say was traumatized, and you had to take an awful lot of time to get her involved in your family and acclimated to your family, within 4 weeks of that, you got another puppy.
Yes.
You got another puppy. You already had 15 dogs. And you got another puppy. So I don't trust you as far as I can throw you. Now, I don't know what, if on your side I heard, we wanted a Pomeranian, I wanted a dog for my kids. I saw this dog online, I thought it was great. I took it, we fell in love with it. But that's not what you're saying at all. You want to become a dog breeder. You have no particular skills at that. Neither you nor your fiancé have any particular skills.
I thought I wanted to be a dog breeder. I do not. I was
You
going
mean
to try
since
it
March
out.
you changed your mind? And what did you
Yes,
get
Your
another
Honor.
female doll for?
For a pet, because my kids...
You already had 3 pets.
Do you want to see my pets?
No.
Okay.
I have no interest in seeing it. I know what a Pomeranian looks like.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
The other dog that you have is 80 pounds. You forgot about an 80-pound dog? I mean, are you telling me you just forgot about the 80-pound dog?
It doesn't have to do about my other dogs. This has to do about Jules.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Dog breeder Celeste Ranger has accused former client Leslie Eberline of stealing her female Pomeranian and costing her money in an attempt to get her back.
You breached the contract. The only question is, you want to keep the dog? Fine. Now, question is damages. What a
dog? No, she told me that she had another Pomeranian. No, I don't want her to have the dog because I didn't know this when we made an agreement, but she had a dog 4 months before Jules came along, and she had a Pomeranian, and she has an 80-pound blue heeler that killed her Pomeranian, shook it while they were eating, killed her Pomeranian, and then she has another one that has birth defects.
What's a blue heeler?
We don't have a blue heeler, Your Honor.
Something other, some other breed of, I don't know, it's 80 pounds. I got text messages.
Yep. Did you have a blue heeler?
We do not have a blue heeler.
Did you?
I don't know what
Never.
it is.
We have a black mouth cur.
Okay, that's correct.
Just a second. What is that?
Old Yeller.
Okay, so that's a big dog. Okay, and that's in addition to the Pomeranians and the 12 Beagles.
Correct.
Well, you left that one out. Did you forget about a big dog? You're looking
That's
at me.
my fiance's dog, and he had this dog. How long have you had this?
Don't ask him. I asked you, how many dogs do you live with your 2 children, 7 and 3, with your fiance, in the trailer where you live with your 2 children and your fiance. You have at least 3 Pomeranians. Now, you have 12 beagles. That you said is his. They live in the barn. Beagles, they're small dogs. Maybe they're 30 pounds. The other dog that you have is a big dog. 80 pounds. You forgot, tell me you just forgot about the 80-pound dog?
It doesn't have to do about my other dogs. This has to do about Jules.
Your Honor, I didn't know about the big dog. I didn't know about the big dog killing the Pomeranian until the day after.
Listen to me. Miss Ranger.
Yes.
This is the problem.
Yes.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
I can do either one of 2 things. I can give you you live in the same state?
Yes. Right now,
I can give you
I do.
an order that you can take to a sheriff or marshal, directing that you go to her house and pick up the dog.
Okay.
I can do that.
Okay.
I don't know whether, I hope that would be successful, because I'm not sure about this group. That would resolve part of the case.
But, Your Honor, that's just not all.
Just a second. I can't do anything else but give you an order.
She slandered me on Facebook.
Listen.
She got me kicked right off for slandering me and telling me I run a puppy mill. And now my...
Listen to me. Or I can give you monetary damages. Do you understand?
Yes.
I can get you your dog back.
Yes.
I hope, with a marshal, control to go out and evaluate the circumstances where these dogs are living.
Good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Or I can entertain your case for money, for damages.
No.
You tell me what you want.
No money. No money for No, I want the dog back because of what I've learned since the dog was transferred.
We will prepare those orders for you.
Okay. And can I seek damages for what I've paid for, like doing this for like months and months?
You've got your dog back.
I'm happy about that. Well,
you've got your dog back. We're done. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Jake?
Boys are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
Because of what they're doing in their home with 30-plus beagles and the couple Pomeranians that one died, one's got birth defects, and she's planning on breeding with the dog that I had arranged with her. I had no clue about all this other stuff going on in her home. We had spoken on the phone, and it was a poor decision on my side. Well, I'm happy to be able to get Jules back, as she was in her health and her life, and it was in jeopardy, and I'm just happy that she'll be coming back home. Welcome home, Jules, and thank you very much, Judge Judy.
The relationship between us for the past year and a half has been very tumultuous.
There was no chance of patching things up.
She had sent me a text message telling me she's uneasy about getting back together with me.
You were angry.
Then, did he leave her deflated?
Do you have any proof that Mr. Condon slashed your tires?
I do not at this point.
This is the only point. This is my point.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Christine Morricone is suing her ex-boyfriend, Matthew Condon, for slashing her tires and disposing of 2 of her bicycles.
Order. All rise. It's case number 83 on the calendar in the matter of Morricone versus Condon.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated.
Ms. Morricone, you and the defendant were in a relationship. That relationship terminated when?
Terminated on April, no, I'm going to say right after Christmas.
Well, right after Christmas also would be April, but
no,
it's kind of an odd way of saying it.
December 28th, 2018.
Had you Condon slashed the tires on your car? That's one of your claims. On what date do you allege that happened?
On April 11th or 12th, early in the morning.
So that was some 3 months and some days after you broke up?
Yes, he was in... Yes,
that was
yes,
some
Your Honor.
3 months later. Now, you didn't see him slash your tires, so you must have some other proof that he slashed your tires? Because Mr. Condon unequivocally denies it.
Okay. Well, the relationship between us for the past year and a half has been very tumultuous.
Listen to me. I don't care about any of that. That's not this. That's not this program. This is a fact-based court program.
Okay.
You allege somewhere between April 11th and April 12th that Mr. Condon slashed your tires. And it's not up to him to prove that he didn't do it. It's up to you to give me some evidence that he did do it. The fact that you had a tumultuous relationship with him for a year and a half is not it. Do you have any direct proof that Mr. Condon slashed your tires?
No, I do not at this point.
No, this is the only point. This is my point. This is the time that
No, I do not at this point. My case is the return of the bicycles that he has of mine that he's refused to return.
Slashed tires.
Well, the slashed tires was not part of this whole allegation. This allegation was for the bicycles that he has stored and refuses to give back to me. That's what the allegation is. And that was after. He slashed the tires.
Just a second. You say in your complaint the very next morning after something happened, I woke up and my tires were slashed.
Right.
What do we talk about that for?
I don't know, Your Honor.
Okay.
You know,
well, you signed it. I didn't write it. Believe me, I didn't write it.
Okay.
Okay, so you stored 2 bicycles with him when?
In the fall of 2018, prior to him going to Florida for 3 months.
Give me the month.
November.
That's a question mark. Is it November?
November, Your Honor.
And the 2 of you broke up in December of 2018.
Correct.
Where was he storing your bicycles?
In his mother's commercial building, in the basement. He said to me... Yeah.
And they were stored in his mother's building when he left to Florida in November, and you were still a couple.
Yes.
Yes. And then you broke up December 28th. When did you make the first demand for the bicycles?
On April 25th. He came back from Florida right before Easter.
March, and up until April 25th, you had made no request for the bicycles?
No.
Okay. And tell me how you communicated the bicycle request to return the bicycles on April 25th.
Via email.
May I see it, please?
Yes.
Well, you say to him, I want to make arrangements to get the 2 bikes. And he says, you told me to get rid of everything. Everything is gone.
That's a lie. I am...
Are the bicycles in your...
No, they are not, Your Honor.
Okay. I'd like to know when you went to your mother's building to get them.
Can I start off with some of her facts?
No.
Well, I'm not going to be able to lay out my defense?
No. Listen, this is not some Supreme Court case.
No, I understand that, but this is our breakup date. You know, here it is in writing.
Pay careful attention. I have an email from her in April, an email from you saying you told me to get rid of everything, and I did.
Here's a complete police report on April 25th, ma'am, if you'd like to look at it.
No, I want you to answer my question.
This is evidence.
I'll look at it. I want you to answer my questions. Well, this is my playpen, not your playpen. You a very simple question. When did you remove the bikes from your mother's commercial basement?
April 12th.
At what time?
In the morning.
Did you take anything else out of the storage other than the bikes? Did you take anything?
This is all that I had.
Just a second. I'm speaking. Did you take anything else out of the storage? The answer is either a yes or a no. So you just removed the 2 bikes.
Right.
And you have a key to the storage.
Yes.
And tell me what you did with the bikes on April 11th.
I brought the bikes to my residency.
And that is in what state? That wasn't Florida.
New York State.
New York State. And from your home, what did you do with the bikes?
I chained them up in the yard.
Is that where they remain, or did they move?
They moved.
To where?
They moved approximately 2 weeks later. I went back to check on the bikes, and somebody had gotten to the bikes and tried to steal them. So I put the bikes in front of my yard with a free sign on it because I had not heard from Miss Marconi in over 2 weeks about these bikes.
Okay, so now I'm going to look at the police report. On what day did you come from Florida, sir, to New York? So it was.
I have an email.
Just a,
Oh.
I'm
sorry, go ahead.
Did you, on or immediately before April 11th, request that the plaintiff pick you up at the airport? That's a question. That requires a yes
Yes.
or a no.
Yes.
Okay. On what date did you ask, before you know where I'm going, your answer was yes. You asked her to pick you up from the airport, and you arrived home on April 11th from
Right.
Florida. You landed at what airport?
Stewart International Airport, Newburgh, New York.
And what time, do you remember what time you arrived?
9 p.m.
So you have all that good information. That's
Oh, yeah.
a great thing. On what date had you communicated with the plaintiff to ask her if she would pick you up at the airport?
Ma'am, I don't remember what the date was.
Just a second. Just
Okay.
a second. Was it within the week?
It was in a 2-month period with which we were communicating on the phone.
Okay, so while you were communicating on the phone, listen, my question to you is, if you and the plaintiff had been sort of on the outs since the end of December and were communicating by phone, we all know when you come back, especially when you fly into Stewart, you don't have to make your reservation 2 months in advance. So my question to you is, on what day did you ask the plaintiff to pick you up at the airport?
I don't have an answer for that.
Okay.
But I do have this, you do have to look at this email.
I will absolutely do that. On what date did he ask you to pick him up at the airport?
We made arrangements probably, I'm going to say around December 1st.
Okay, may I see the email, please?
That's the breakup date, January 10th.
Fine, it doesn't matter. In the scheme of things, it doesn't matter. I'm just sort of interested, Mr. Condon, why on April 11th you found it, which was the day that you arrived,
Yeah.
why you found it necessary to go to storage and get the 2 bikes and chain them to the backyard.
Because, Your Honor, I told her, we had a phone conversation after she broke up with me in a text message and said she didn't want anything to do with me on the 11th in the morning, on April 11th in the morning, out of nowhere, after we've been talking for 2 months, she had sent me a text message telling me she's been thinking about things and she's uneasy about getting back together with me.
So?
Okay? But for the last 2 months, we've been talking on the phone about it. And I said, I would like you to get your things tomorrow from my possession. Otherwise, I'm going to get rid of them. She said, I don't have anywhere to put them. I live in a 1-bedroom apartment. Get rid of them. And that's what, so I held the things for another 2 weeks.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I held, this was the 12th, ma'am.
No.
I held
No,
the
you
things
didn't.
in my possession for 2 more weeks.
No, you didn't. They weren't doing anything from the 11th to the 25th in your mother's basement that they hadn't been doing from November to April. You were angry. And that's why you went and got them. You were angry.
No,
You got in?
I did. I told her I didn't want anything to do with her
No,
anymore.
anymore.
I have emails to the effect.
Well, that's fine. Do you have an email from her saying, get rid of the bikes?
No, I don't.
Right. Timing is just too coincidental, sir. And the one thing that you get to know when you get old, and you're not there yet, of course, is that there are very few coincidences in life.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
When did you buy these bikes? Show me the receipts.
I don't have the receipts.
If you don't have proof, you don't have anything. The bikes are worth $50 a piece. That's it, unless you have a receipt.
And later today,
You're suing them for illegally locking you out of your house, on which you paid no rent.
I did pay rent.
Well, off and on rent. That's me paying rent.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Christine Morricone says ex-boyfriend Matthew Condon slashed her tires and got rid of 2 of her bicycles. Matthew is countersuing for the return of his belongings.
Now, when did you buy these bikes?
One bike.
Show me the receipts.
I don't have the receipts. One of the bikes I bought off of eBay, a brand new bike from a woman. I met her at Paramus.
Listen, I don't believe. If you don't have proof, you don't have anything. The bikes are worth $50 a piece. And he got rid of them, and he got rid of them maliciously. That's it. Unless you have a receipt.
I have
a receipt.
I have receipts of what it's going to cost me to replace them.
$100. Judgment for the plaintiff. We're done. Thank you.
Excuse me, I got a counter plaintiff.
You got
I got a counter lawsuit on her.
Because you stayed over at the house a lot and she threw away some of your stuff?
Yes.
Goodbye.
Whoa, 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 Your Honor. One of these things are medication worth $1,000.
What, the Viagra?
Okay. Parties are excused. You may step out.
He's vindictive, he's a liar, he's a thief.
She's constitutionally incapable of honesty.
I deserve better.
I'm just glad.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Hollingsworth versus Adams. Step forward.
James Hollingsworth is suing his estranged in-laws, Alvin and Judy Adams, for an illegal lockout, the return of property, and the return of his dog.
Mr. Hollingsworth, are you currently married to the defendant's daughter?
We're separated.
But you're married?
Yes.
And in what year were you married?
2006.
Do you have any children?
No.
In what year did you move in with your in-laws?
They moved in with us.
So it was your house?
No, it's their house, but their daughter lived there. They lived up the mountain.
In what year did you move into their house?
2004.
Were you working?
Off and on.
Were you paying the Adamses any rent?
Yes.
How much?
400 plus maintenance.
$400 per month. And who paid the rent when you weren't working?
Welfare.
How long did welfare pay the rent?
I don't know. I don't know exactly how long. It's all been broken up from the time I worked at the...
You and your wife are currently separated.
Yes.
And your wife remains with her parents?
Yes.
And you're suing them for illegally locking you out of your house?
Yes.
On which you paid no rent?
I did pay rent.
Well, off and on when welfare didn't.
Okay, it's still paying rent.
No, that's not you paying rent. That's me paying rent. Not you paying rent.
I don't see what that has to do with this now. They locked me out. I pay rent. They locked me out. They denied me my stuff. They kept my dog.
Just a second. When you live with your wife in her parents' house and you have a fight and separate from your wife...
I didn't separate from my wife.
Yeah, you did.
No, I didn't.
You just told me that you and your wife are separated.
Yeah, she filed separation paper after I moved out. After they locked me out, actually.
Mr. Hollingsworth, you're not getting money for locking you out of a house that's their house that you lived in, for you, rent-free.
It wasn't rent-free.
Mr. Hollingsworth, let's move on now. Let's talk about your dog. The dog. In what year was the dog either purchased or rescued?
He was born 14 years ago from his mom that I own too.
To our dogs.
Shh, just a second. And so...
I have a text message right here from their daughter saying, we can't afford to feed your dog, bring me money. It's my dog.
Mr. Hollingsworth, when you are divorced from your wife, the judge in court will decide whose dog it is. Right now, if it's your dog and you have been together with her since 2004, married since 2006, the dog is marital property over which I have no jurisdiction. That will be handled. Yeah, it's true.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I want to know what it is that you are asking for specifically back.
All my property.
That doesn't do anything for me.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
James Hollingsworth says his estranged in-laws, Alvin and Judy Adams, illegally locked him out and stole his property, including his dog.
Now, I'd like you to tell me the last thing in your complaint is your personal property. Now, that they can't take from you. When you left, what personal property, not marital property, personal property, did you leave in the house?
Everything. I didn't have anything. They locked the locks. I went home and they wouldn't let me in, and I have nothing. They kept my clothes and everything.
Mr. Adams, do you have any of Mr. Hollingsworth's clothes?
No,
clothes. Do you know where his clothes are, sir?
He left. He came back the next morning. He got clothes. He come back the second day, packed up his clothes, and
That's
left.
not true. I have a police report saying that they said I left in January.
We never talked to police about that. And on the 29th,
police report says you did.
26th,
Don't speak.
On the 26th of February, I text him unless he texts me, and he could come and get anything that he had left there.
He never texted me anything.
May I see that? Okay. Your wife's name is Lisa?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. On March the 9th, sorry to bother you, but Lisa's been putting me off all day. Do you remember texting him that?
Yes.
On March 9th? What was that about?
I'm trying to see my dog. And the police report right here says that they told the police that I left in January and that I took all my stuff with me. So which is it? Which is he not telling the truth about?
Okay. I want to know what it is that you are asking for specifically back.
All my property.
That doesn't do anything for me. You don't have any property that's yours.
Yes, I
If you've
do.
been married, listen to me, that's yours unless you tell me what it is. If you say to me, I have my birth certificate, my watch,
I
my
have
shoes,
a list of that stuff.
other than those things, that comes under the auspices of a divorce with your wife, with whom you lived in this house for many years, according to you, when they didn't even live there, even though it's their house.
Are you in a family dispute? Go to judgejudy.com, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter.
Okay.
I have a list of my personal property.
I'd like to see it. Then I'll ask item by item. Where are you living now, Mr. Hollingsworth?
Kind of bouncing between my coworker and a friend.
So they have your car?
They had my car. It's not there anymore. I drove by. It's not there.
It can't be your car. This is marital property, sir. It's something that a divorce court is going to take care of.
My name was on the pink slip.
Missing list of property.
That's all the property that I believe is mine that is not hers.
Okay.
Together. I didn't
Do
list
you
any
have-
property as community.
Do you have either one of two suits, a Pierre Cardin suit and a Stafford suit,
No, ma'am.
and 12 pairs of black ankle socks? Do you have that?
No, ma'am.
They don't have it. They don't have it. I don't know whether your wife has it.
They
Did
do
you?
have it. They control the house. They told her not to give me anything. I have a text for that, too.
Mr. Hollingsworth, I suggest that you get a lawyer filed for divorce. A marital judge who hears your divorce will decide what of this property, if it exists, is marital property and what is your individual property, and the court will rule accordingly. Do you understand? That's not my job.
Whatever.
Bye.
Boys are excused. Step out.
And on the next Judge Judy.
They locked me out.
She did exactly what I thought would happen.
I want my dog back.
That dog is a family dog.
They can't afford to feed my dog, but they won't. Nobody's going to give him to me.
We had the mother and father of the pup when it was born.
Yeah, there's time to get a lawyer.
I want him out of our life.
You paid Mr. Shaw $1,500 for a truck.
Her boyfriend broke his promise,
So what are you suing him for?
For stealing the truck after I paid for all of it.
but not before breaking his vows.
Me and my wife were separating. Me and the plaintiff were dealing with each other at the time.
Not dealing with each other. You were dating her at the time. I don't like you. Don't drink water now. I'm speaking.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Jessica Turner and her mother, Tammy, are suing Jessica's ex-boyfriend, James Shaw, for a truck, repair costs, and tow fees.
Order. All rise. It's case number 9 on the calendar in the matter of Turner. Morning. You may be seated. Ma'am, have a seat.
Miss Turner, this is your mom. Is that right?
Yes.
And she's only here because she loaned you some money to fix this truck. Is that right?
Yes.
You can have a seat. It is your claim that you paid Mr. Shaw, who was your sort of boyfriend at the time, $1,500 for a truck.
Yes.
To purchase. Then the truck broke down, and in order to have it fixed, your mom lent you another almost $1,000 to have it fixed.
Correct.
Then Mr. Shaw decided, according to you, to go back to his wife, and he took back the truck.
Yes.
So you want your money back. Now, Mr. Shaw, is this the wife?
Yes, Your Honor.
In whose name was this truck registered?
This was registered under Marion.
Who is that?
That's my father.
Where is he?
He's not here
Why was the truck registered in your father's name?
because this is my father's truck.
Had you been using your father's truck?
Yes,
Had you and your wife been using your father's truck?
yes,
For how long?
for about 5 months.
Tell me the circumstances that you and your wife were using your father's truck for 5 months.
As of now, up to date, it's been 5
No, no.
months. But prior to the situation, we weren't. Me and her were using the truck up until our separation.
You and the plaintiff were using the truck.
Yes, ma'am.
For how long?
A week at most. I was moving some...
Jump up. Prior to the week, the truck.
No one.
Where was it?
It was at his house.
So how did it come about that your father let you have the truck to use with the plaintiff for a week and then let you and your wife use the truck for 5 months?
During the process, during the process of the situation, me and my wife...
That's a whole lot of words.
Okay, me and my wife were separating.
I got it.
Me and the plaintiff were dealing with each other at the time.
Not dealing with each other, you were dating her at the time.
We were intimate, dealing with each other at the time. So I needed to use the truck because I have epilepsy. I cannot drive. So I asked her to drive because she has a valid license and the truck was going to be insured. So she assured me during our relationship that she was going to take care of the truck, and my dad gave her... Okay. You wanted to know.
Is what you're saying your father gave permission to the plaintiff to drive his truck? Just follow my question.
Yes, ma'am.
That your father, who I will call,
gave
permission to the plaintiff to drive the truck for about a week because you didn't have a driver's license. Is that what you're saying to me?
What I'm saying is you asked.
That's either just a minute.
No. To answer your question, no. That's not what I'm saying.
And I'm going to ask you again, Mr. Shaw, how did it come about that you and the plaintiff couldn't drive, so the car had to be turned over to someone who could drive?
Exactly.
Who did that?
My father gave her permission.
But then the answer is your father gave her permission.
Not because I didn't have a license, because I'm medically inclined.
So your father gave her permission to drive his truck. What's your father's phone number? Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah.
That your father personally gave the plaintiff permission to drive his truck?
You want the number? I'm going to give it to you.
No, that's what I'm asking you.
Yes.
Ms. Turner, is that correct?
No.
Did you ever have a personal conversation with the defendant's father?
When we went up there to buy the truck, yes.
When did you have a personal conversation with the defendant's father?
March 2nd.
Tell me the circumstances.
In person, we went up there so that I could... James, my brother, and my brother's girlfriend, and I had gone up there so that I could purchase the vehicle.
Just a second. You, your brother...
Yes.
His girlfriend...
Yes.
And Mr. Shaw...
Yes.
Went to his father's house...
Yes, we...
And you spoke to his father?
Yes.
Tell me the circumstances surrounding you speaking to his father.
His father knew that...
Don't tell me what...
To buy the truck for $1,500.
You met his father there. Very, very easy.
Yes.
You met his father there. The truck, according to you, was under some snow and had to be dug out.
About 4 feet.
Just a second. And had to be dug out from under the snow. You spoke to the defendant's father. It was at the defendant's father's house, correct?
It was at his Aunt Dorothy's, from what I understand. We met his father at an apartment building somewhere else and followed him to the place in St. Paul where the truck was stored.
Okay, so you met his father at an apartment complex. His father said, follow me, I'll take you to where the truck is.
Yes.
So his father took you to where the truck was. And then?
They dug it out and got it started.
Who dug it out?
James and his father.
And then?
That ended up having a flat tire need to be fixed. He had called his brother to come help.
Did you call your brother?
I called my brother every day.
Good. Did you call your brother to come fix the flat tire on the truck?
No.
Your brother never came?
No.
I have messages between me and his brother where his brother witnessed me paying cash because his brother was there.
What's his brother's name?
Richard.
So his brother came and helped fix the tire, and then?
And then I counted out the 50 to his father to count.
Handed them to his father?
Yep.
Yes.
Because I was under...
No. I don't care what you were under. You handed the $1,500 to his father.
Yes.
And?
Because I was buying the truck from them. His brother witnessed it. He took the money.
You handed the money to his father?
Yes.
So what are you suing him for?
For stealing the truck after I paid for all of it, since the truck is still with them.
No, Miss Turner, you're suing the wrong person. You should be suing his father.
Well, I'm suing the person who has the property.
No, you have to sue
because he has the
Miss
property
Turner,
that is worth
Miss Turner.
$2,700.
No, Miss Turner, you have to sue the person who you gave the $1,500 to who didn't give you title to the car. He can't give you title to the car. He doesn't own the car.
Well, we have police records where we both take the truck to the police officers, and he tells them
Stop
that...
singing. Miss Turner, you have to stop singing. You have to talk. I'm telling you, if you paid $1,500 to his father has to give you the title to the car. You didn't get the title.
They gave me a receipt of sale.
Listen to me. I can't give you an order to go and get the truck because if his father was there, which you should actually have sued them, you could sue them both if you're not sure. I can order his father, because he got $1,500 to sign the title over to you, but I can't give you an order that you can take to a marshal and get a car from him that's in somebody else's name. Do you understand?
No.
Yes, Your Honor.
She don't.
Well, I've just explained it, and she does understand now. I can't give you an order to take to your local authorities that say, I have ruled in this binding arbitration that she is the rightful owner of this car. I can't do that because he's not the owner. He, of necessity, unless he stole the car from his father, must be operating the car with his father's permission. Now, his father really shouldn't give him permission if you gave his father $1,500 and if that was for the sale of the car.
Yes, and his father refused to come here.
Well, that's not my problem.
And I have all the
Just a
proof
sec.
where I paid.
I can't help you if his father refused to come here. Did you serve him in small claims court?
Yes.
And?
And as far as I know, I never heard anything back, so I amended to take him off of it.
Well, then I can't help you. He is the proper defendant because he owns the car, and you understand that.
Okay, and what about for fixing it after it's for that?
You have to sue his father.
Okay.
Because if you sue his father and a judge gives you an order that says it's your car, this is a stranger to that process, then you can execute on that judgment and go and get the car. But I can't give you the car because his father's not here. His father has a right to say, I never got $1,500 from her.
My father...
I didn't ask you anything.
I know.
I don't like you.
That's good.
I don't like you.
That's great.
Because if we're speaking morally, what you should do is if she, in fact, paid your father $1,500 for the truck or anything, if she paid him, then a moral person would say to his father, if he were a moral person, the right thing for you to do, Dad, is to sign the title over to Miss Turner because she paid for it. So I want you to understand, it's not that I don't believe that she paid. Don't drink water now, I'm speaking.
I'm listening.
Don't drink water now, I'm speaking.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
What does an up mean?
What
does an up mean?
Is my turn?
Just a second.
Okay.
Is an up mean, and I want you to know, I'm really smart.
I know.
Are you telling me that she did like to see where this went, this transfer of $5,000?
Well, originally I transferred it to the checking account so that he could withdraw it and take it.
I want to see that. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Maybe say it again.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Jessica Turner says ex-boyfriend James Shaw is driving a truck she paid for. James is countersuing for destruction of property.
So the right and the moral thing to do, if you were a right and moral person, would be to say to your father, I'm giving her the truck, and you can go and sue her for the truck if you want.
Okay.
Or, Dad, do the right thing. Sign the title over to her because she paid for it. Not for you and your wife to drive around in it. What does an up mean? What does an up mean? Just a second.
Okay.
Is an up mean, and I want you to know, I'm really smart.
I know.
Are you telling me that she didn't give your father money?
I'm definitely telling you she didn't give my father money. What the means was I was embracing your feeling and passion in it because for me, I would have that passion as well if it was true. But unfortunately, it's not. And the water was because I was thirsty of listening to the she was trying to feed you.
Just a second. Fine. Show me proof that you paid $1,500. Tell me where you took the money out, or you took it out of the bank. Just show it to me.
There's a bank statement where I took $2,700 out.
Here's the sheet of paper that he gave you.
That's the receipt of sale. They told me it was a bill of sale.
Bill of sale, but it's not.
The bill of sale of the forgery that she tried? The forging of the bill of sale. You might want to look at that, Your Honor. Who signed over a bill of sale with a purple
There's
pen?
messages where he
Just a
states
second.
he did not play me about his dad's truck.
Hold it. What is this?
That's what they gave her, Your Honor.
Gloria? Who's Gloria?
That's my ex-mother-in-law.
Gloria is your ex-mother-in-law?
Yeah, my ex-mother-in-law.
So it's a prior wife?
Yeah.
Just tell me, on what date do you claim you gave him this money?
March 2nd.
Okay, why don't you go back and sue the right person? Got it?
Okay.
Thank you. We're
All right,
done.
Your Honor, hold up.
And
No.
at the time she does that, then you can file.
That's great.
And you can file your counterclaim. We're done. Goodbye.
I have a counterclaim,
I said to
actually.
you, did you just hear me? You
No.
put on your listening ears.
No.
I said to you when she files her complaint.
I want to sue her now for damage of property and burning my belongings.
Just a second. Did you understand what I said?
Yeah.
I'm dismissing this case, the entire case, without prejudice, for her to sue the appropriate person. If you want to sue her, you can. Goodbye. We're done.
Excuse, you may step out.
I knew he was married. They had restraining orders on each other and were legally separated.
It's my wife. Of course it's going to change. You know what I mean? Who's going to step out on 26 years?
And was working on a divorce, but obviously not.
She burned some of my stuff, at least, what, $1,100 worth of stuff.
He went back to his wife, and he wants the vehicle.
She didn't make it too far with this whole suing thing because, you know what I mean, it didn't work out for her.
See him in court.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Flores versus Long. Step forward.
Anthony and Andrea Flores are suing boat mechanic Michael Long for the return of a deposit, repairs, and property damage.
Mr. and Mrs. Flores, on what date did you bring a boat that needed repair to Mr. Long to repair?
I don't have the exact date. It was at the end of October.
The end of October of what year?
2017.
2017?
Yes.
And when you brought the boat to Mr. Long, according to you, you gave him $5,000 as a deposit to fix the boat.
Yes, Your Honor.
I'd like to see proof of that. I'd like $1,000.
Well, originally I transferred it like internally to the checking account so that he could withdraw it and
Cash.
take it.
I took cash to Mr. Lang.
I want to see that. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Maybe say it again.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Then you have another withdrawal transfer on October 24th.
Yeah.
What do you mean, yeah?
Well, I mean, the other withdrawal could be, we took a loan out for the boat. So, I mean, it could have been just transferring it to savings, to checking.
Not happy.
I'm sorry.
Not happy.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Anthony and Andrea Flores are suing boat mechanic Michael Long for the return of a deposit, repairs, and property damage.
Right now, all I have is that a withdrawal customer on October 7th, not the end of October, but on October 7th, $5,000. And then on the 24th, I have transfer to share 0060, and that's all I have. I don't have anything else. And you didn't know Mr. Long. He was referred to you to do this work, is that correct?
Yes.
If you sent it to a checking account, then $1,000 to Mr. Long if you were giving him a deposit. Because do you know why? Because I'm not crazy. And it doesn't look to me like you're crazy either.
No.
Do you understand?
Yes.
So, unless you can show me that you withdrew $5,000 in cash and that he deposited $5,000 in cash on or about the same day, we're done here. Do you understand?
I can show you the withdrawal. I can't show you what he did with it.
Show me the withdrawal.
All right.
And explain to me why you gave him cash instead of writing a check. Do that explanation for me.
I gave him cash because that's what he asked for.
A lot of people would ask for it.
So there's a transfer. I think if I could look at that piece of paper, I can just show you just where it's just a withdrawal as opposed to a transfer or into a checking or into a savings. So where it's highlighted withdrawal, CU home transfer, so it was transferred. And then right up above it, the same date, it says 10/7 withdrawal. So that's where it was just a cash withdrawal.
Is what you're telling me on the 7th of October, you withdrew $5,000 that you didn't give him for weeks. Is that what you're telling me?
Yes.
I'm not buying that.
It's off on the date of it. October 7th is the day that we took the $5,000 out. It was a Saturday, which would have been a day where Tony would have been able to drop the boat off to Mike.
Then you have another withdrawal transfer on October 24th.
Yeah.
What do you mean, yeah?
Well, I mean, you were asking for where I withdrew the money cash.
What I'm asking you is, you have 2 withdrawals in the same month for $5,000.
The other withdrawal could be, we took a loan out for the boat loan. So, I mean, it could have been just transferring it to savings, to checking.
Not happy.
I'm sorry.
Not happy.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
It just doesn't feel right to me that somebody has a checking account and they transfer money to the checking account, which is what you told me before, that you transfer money from your savings to your checking.
To make it easy for Tony to get it all out at one time, yeah.
Right. And instead of writing a check to this stranger who he doesn't know for a deposit on work for a boat, he takes out $5,000 and gives it to him in cash, according to him, at the end of October. Doesn't make sense to me. But since I'm not sure,
okay,
to the local court where you came from and see if you can convince a judge that all of that is accurate. Thank you.
I excuse you, may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
I had a boat worked on that didn't get worked on.
Yeah, it was blown up, and I did do work on it.
I went to go get it, and just the motor was taken out of it.
And I stored it for a year.
There were parts missing. I had to buy new parts.
And eventually I pulled the plug on the boat, on the job.
Had a new mechanic put it all back together.
Ready to put it behind me, see where it goes.
It's ready to go on the water.
These 2 people wouldn't be here unless you owe them money.
I don't owe them anything, Your Honor.
A roommate is reminded of his debts.
Jazz gave me $300 for insurance, but that was it.
That's incorrect.
Did you pay your rent every month?
I was short in January.
He only paid in full 1 month.
And they won't let him forget a dime.
He bought a new car right after I helped him.
She says she gave you $200 towards the down payment.
She's lying.
And what about you?
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judy.
20-year-olds Judy Primacio and his girlfriend, Jasmine Vallejos, are suing their ex-roommate and Judy's family friend, Zachary Iona, for unpaid rent, a car loan, stolen identity, and ruined credit.
Order. All rise. It's case number 71 on the calendar in the matter of Vallejos, Primacio versus Joanna.
Thank you.
Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Folks, have a seat, please.
This, sir, is your cousin?
Yes.
First cousin?
No, distant.
How distant?
Actually, Honor, he is just a very close family friend, and we've been raised together. We've grown up together.
Okay, so he's a close family friend.
Yes.
This is your girlfriend?
Yes.
And you are 19?
I'm 20.
And you?
20.
And you?
18.
The 3 of you rented an apartment together. It was a 2-bedroom apartment. You signed the lease.
We all did.
It is your claim that the defendant moved out.
Yes.
Yes.
And he moved out owing you money.
Yes, that's correct.
And he moved out to move into the home of his girlfriend.
No, he moved into his parents' home.
His parents' house with the girlfriend.
Yeah.
Yes.
Who is now pregnant.
As far as I understand, yes.
Is that right?
She had a miscarriage.
How much after? Is she still living in your parents' house?
Yes.
You pay your parents rent?
I do.
How much?
I pay $200 for bills.
What about the girlfriend?
She doesn't pay anything.
Why?
She just moved in after she graduated high school.
Well, let me understand this, Mr. Iona. The 3 of you moved in together, and as far as I can see from the papers of all 3 of you, you made a reasonable arrangement that they would pay 2/3 of the rent, because they're 2 people. You would pay 1/3 of the rent. Is that right?
Correct.
And you moved in what month and year?
October of 2018.
And in what month did your girlfriend all but move in?
She never moved in.
I said all but move in. I mean, she did get pregnant in your apartment,
Yes.
not in your parents' apartment, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
So in what month and year did she all but move into the apartment?
February 2019.
And that became a source of irritation
That's correct,
among you,
yes.
because now the rent should be split in half, because you have 2 people sharing your room and 2 people sharing a room.
Yes.
Yeah, of course. Did you pay your rent every month?
I did, up until I lost my job in January, or December.
Well, so the answer is no. I
No.
didn't pay my rent every month. I had lost my job. So what month didn't you pay?
I was short in January. I was short rent.
Your Honor, he was also short on many other months.
He only paid in full 1 month.
They are wrong, Your Honor.
Just a second. Did you pay them in check or cash?
I always paid cash.
That's incorrect, Your Honor. I have count. There was only, I think, 1 or 2 months where he paid in cash.
Did you ever transfer money into her bank account?
I did.
So that was also a method. May I see other months?
Yes.
Mr. Iona, were you short other months?
Just January and February.
January and February?
Correct.
How short were you January and February?
Not too short, a couple $100s.
Not a couple of hundred. I mean, this is a business.
Yeah.
How much short were you in January and February?
200 in January and 300 in February.
I have the exact rate. Okay.
So far, according to you, that's $500.
Correct.
Then there was a car loan. When was that?
December of 2018.
The same month you lost your job.
Yes, this was all before I lost my job.
How much was the car loan and who made it to you?
The car loan was for $13,000.
No, they. Did either of these 2 people give you money towards a car?
Jazz gave me $300 for insurance, but that was it.
That's incorrect, Your Honor.
Just a second. Jasmine, she gave you $300 for insurance, or she paid the insurance?
She paid the first month of insurance.
And that's also incorrect, Your Honor. Okay. Sorry.
When did you pay them back? So far, from you, I have $800. I would like to see proof of when you paid them back the $800.
I did everything in cash, Your Honor.
So you...
Back in January, and I gave them the money.
Oh, who did you give the $900 to?
I gave 400 of it to Judah, and then $100 to Jasmine.
Did he give you $400?
No, Your Honor.
Did he give you $100?
No, everything he gave me was for rent.
Did he give you in February $100?
No.
Towards repayment of any of this? Did he give you $400?
No, Your Honor. But he did give us $100, but we had to use that towards his rent of being short.
So he gave you $100,
Yes.
but it was for what month's rent?
It was for January's rent, and it was going towards February's rent because he was late.
That's only $100. That doesn't stretch out that far. Did he pay you at all in January?
Yes, he paid us $100 for helping him out with the car, and
How did you help him out with the car?
we gave him money, the
How much?
$300.
Well, the $300 was for insurance.
We
Yes.
also gave him $200 for a down payment.
That's incorrect, Your Honor. I have the full down payment in my evidence right here.
Show me. I mean, you're going to say that it was a $200 down payment?
He
or-
bought a new car right after I
Just a
helped
second.
him.
Just a second. Are you going to show me that it says that you put down $200?
I put down $510. They didn't pay anything towards the down payment at all.
I don't know that. She says she gave you $200 towards the down payment.
She's lying.
Okay. And what about you? You owe them money.
I don't owe them anything, Your Honor.
Well, so far, I have, even by your own statement, you owe them money. Because so far, you owe them $800, according to your own statement, and you paid them back, according to you, $500. He says you never gave him $400.
I did pay them back.
Just a second. Tell me when.
In January, when I got that check, I gave them the money.
No, I asked you a question. You told me you got the paycheck in January. It was $900. I'll show it to you. And you said I gave him $400 and I gave her $100. That's exactly what you said. Well, 4 and 1 are 5. Even my rudimentary math tells me that's 5. According to you, you owe them 8. So according to you, you still owe them $300.
They also have my bed at the apartment, which was listed at...
Who cares? What else?
It was a $400 bed. It's still at the apartment.
I don't care.
I gave it to them as part of rent to pay them back. They have it in there.
I don't care. Did you also continue to pay your car insurance out of her bank account for months?
No, I did not.
You did not?
I did not. She even got a refund from that $300 from Allstate.
That's not what I asked you, whether they gave her back the money. What I asked you was your car insurance, without her permission, continued to be paid out of the same bank account where she paid it the first time?
No, it wasn't.
No?
That is incorrect, Your Honor.
Show me.
Okay, I have it.
It's so easy to prove. Why would you say not? It's so easy for, say, 2 months or 3 months. She may have gotten reimbursed because she complained about it when she saw it, but that doesn't mean it wasn't taken out. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Was it taken out?
Yes.
So why can't you just say that? It was taken out. You didn't pay it.
I didn't.
You didn't pay it when it was due. It was taken out of her account.
That wasn't to either of our knowledge. She paid it the first month. That was all that was supposed to be paid. It's her fault for not stopping the subscription, and I told them also that,
Your Honor,
they didn't want to keep repaying it.
You have a car.
Yes, I do.
You're supposed to pay the insurance every month?
Yes.
That's what it said on the loan. On the loan, it says you have to pay the insurance every month, right?
Yes.
So you have to write out a check, or it has to come out of your bank account. Do you have a bank account?
Yes.
Because you write checks. You would have to write a check or get a money order to pay for the car. So you know whether or not you paid car insurance for, say, the month of February. If you didn't pay it for February, you either were in breach of your contract with the loan company or somebody else paid it because they didn't cancel your insurance, right?
They did. The insurance got canceled in February. That's why there's no way that they would have kept paying the insurance.
So what you're telling me is after the 1 month of $300 where she did pay that you owe her for, money never came out of her account again for your insurance.
Correct.
Only that one time.
Yeah.
From you is someplace circled where the insurance came out more than the 1 month that you acknowledge that you loaned him the money for insurance. Make a circle
So this
on
is
the
where
bank
it was-
statement.
Circle it. Okay. So this is where it was refunded.
Just make 2 circles wherever the money came out.
That's right here. There's the refund and where it came out on that.
Two months to Allstate. Is that who insures your car?
Yes, or who did insurance my car.
2 months. What happened in January?
I called them and filed identity theft because that was the only way I could get my money back. He doesn't even still have the same car.
You got your money back?
Yeah, the company worked with me, but I still didn't get it back for the down payment.
You have a check for the down payment?
I have another bank statement. And I have showing that he paid $200. Verbally, he said he'd pay $100. Oh, okay.
Shh.
Okay.
What month did you buy your car?
In December, ma'am.
This is January 30th that it was posted. The transaction was January 29th.
Yeah, it was pending.
I don't know if it was pending or not. It said the date it was posted and the date of transaction. The date of the transaction was January 29th.
Yes.
The day it was... Did you get another roommate, by the way?
His brothers moved in with us.
Good. Is he paying rent?
Our parents are covering his rent.
I don't know what this is. Okay, so far, it is your statement that your cousin friend did not give you $400.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, but did give you $100 towards the rent.
Yes, Your Honor.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $700. We're finished. Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
It was just mostly because I had people over, friends.
I did. I spoke up about it, but
They didn't like certain friends that I had over, and they wanted to kick them out.
he didn't care, she didn't care. I mean, in the long run, lesson learned.
Seems hit a really steep bump.
I can't even say how much I feel.
I hope to continue trying to talk to them after this.
How angry I am.
Yeah, only time will tell.
You can't always trust family now.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Owens versus Reed, step forward.
Gwendolyn Owens is suing Doretha Reed for the cost to repair her car after Doretha's son crashed his bike into it.
All right, Miss Owens, what is your claim that the defendant's son, who was riding a bike, crashed into your car?
Yes.
Causing damage. You were taking your son to school. The defendant's son on his bicycle going in the same direction that you were?
Yes.
Going to school?
I assume yes.
So he was traveling correctly. He was going with the flow of traffic.
Yes.
And according to what I read here, cars were sort of going around him.
Correct.
Because he was on a bicycle.
Yes.
And the car in front of you went around him successfully.
Yes.
And you went to go around him.
Yes, ma'am.
And then you went back in and you heard something hit your car.
Yes.
Is that what happened?
Yes, ma'am.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
He was turning. He wasn't going straight. He was trying to turn around. That's how he hit my passenger's back door. Because it's in the police report where he tried to turn around. I guess he was going back in the other direction.
Were you trying to turn around for some reason?
cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Gwendolyn Owen says 13-year-old Donovan Jemison crashed his bike into her car while she was in the process of passing him on the road.
Now, the car in front of you went around him successfully.
Yes.
And you went to go around him.
Yes, ma'am.
And then you went back in, and you heard something hit your car.
I heard something hit my car. My granddaughter was in the back seat. So I pulled over on the side of the street, and the people behind me stopped. There were two people behind me. I stopped and got out.
Everybody stopped because the bicyclist was on the ground.
Yes. I got out, went to see him, and he walked across the street. The bike was still in the street, and we were concerned about him, so we asked where his parents were. You know, where did he live? He said right across the street. I ran over, knocked on the door to try to get an answer. I didn't get an answer. Went back over. The two witnesses were still there with him, and he tried to call home, and there was still no answer.
His mother took him to the doctor, correct?
Ma'am.
Just to check him out.
Yes, ma'am.
Unfortunately, he was okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So you didn't sue her?
No, ma'am.
No, you didn't sue her for hitting your son.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, Miss Owens.
Yes.
I've read these papers, and I, quite frankly, it's sort of incredulous to me that you think he's responsible for this accident.
Well, Your Honor, I also have the police report with the witnesses saying that it was his fault.
Just a second. I don't read witnesses' statements from a police report.
Okay.
You told me that you went around him.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
And are there cars coming in the other direction? You see where the cars is? Are there cars coming in the... Possible for cars to come in the other direction?
Yes, it's possible, yes.
So it's a two-lane highway?
Yes.
So you had to go over into the other lane in order to pass him?
Yes.
And then you went back?
Yes.
Your problem is to make sure he has enough space.
I did make sure he had enough space.
So
Can I show you?
Yeah, sure, you can show me.
Okay. All right. This is my car here.
Yeah, I understand where your car is.
All right. I had passed by him, okay? And he was turning. He was trying to turn around. He wasn't going straight. He was trying to turn around. That's how he hit my passenger back door.
He was trying to turn around?
He was trying to turn around, because it's in the police report where he tried to turn around. I guess he was going back in the other direction.
Just a second. Stand up. Tell me your name.
Donovan.
Donovan, were you going to school that day?
Yes.
You were going to school that day?
Yes, ma'am.
Step back. And when you were going to school that day, you go in the same direction as you were going?
Yes, ma'am.
Were you trying to turn around for some reason?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Do you remember what happened with Mrs. Owen's car?
No.
You don't remember?
No, ma'am.
You just remember being on the ground?
Yes, ma'am.
Were you in the car?
Yes.
Stand up.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Gwendolyn Owen says 13-year-old Donovan Jemison crashed his bike into her car while she was in the process of passing him on the road.
Were you trying to turn around for some reason?
No, ma'am.
Do you ever drive your bike to school?
Sometimes.
How often?
Not that often.
Well, prior to this day that this happened, when was the last time you drove your bike to school?
It's been a while, so...
Why were you driving your bike to school that day?
I was in a rush because I was going to be late.
So you were going in the same direction?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you remember what happened with Mrs. Owen's car?
No.
You don't remember?
No, ma'am.
You just remember being on the ground?
Yes, ma'am.
Were there other cars going around you?
Yes, ma'am.
And did they successfully go around you?
Yes, ma'am.
Were you in the car?
Yes.
Stand up. Is this young man in your class or in your grade?
Oh, no. I'm about to be a senior.
And he?
Oh, no. I just be seeing him walk to school sometimes when she be dropping me off to school.
Okay. But he was going to school that day?
Mm-hmm.
Going in the same direction you were?
Yes.
Okay. You were facing forward, so you didn't see what happened in the rear of you?
Oh, no. But, like, we was going straight. Like, we was going around, like, all the other cars with us, and then he hit the back door. And then that's when she pulled over and stopped to make sure...
Just a second.
Yes.
Right, which is when you would be going past him. Yeah, Miss Owens, you're lucky Miss Reed didn't sue you, and you're lucky he wasn't injured.
Well, I also have a text message where she said that she would pay for the damages.
Well, if she wants to pay for them, that's fine. If she voluntarily, I would not order her to pay for the damages. You passed a biker. It's your responsibility in a car to make sure you have plenty of clearance with that biker.
I had plenty of clearance.
Clearly
he
not.
He turned to turn around to go in the other direction. The police report also has stated that.
Just a second. That's ridiculous. He was going to school, and he was going in the same direction you were going to drop your grandson off at school. So there would be no reason for him to turn around.
Well, for some reason, he did turn around. Because you can even tell by the pictures of where my car was hit.
I know where your car was hit. Your car was hit on the back passenger side. It collided with him. And if he was injured, his mother would sue you. I don't see any statements of witnesses here.
It's at the bottom, Brian.
Are you talking about this?
Yes.
This narrative? Sorry, that's not a witness's statement. The policeman wasn't there. This is a synopsis of what somebody told a police officer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that was the witness that witnessed it.
I don't know that.
And that's his name at the bottom.
I don't know that that was the statement of the witness.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
My responsibility is to say, whose fault is it when somebody is on a bike and somebody passes the biker? And I see no logic for this young man trying to turn around when the school was in the same direction you were going in. And it's just as easy for me to assume that you cut in too fast. Well, I don't know that, and he doesn't remember. Your case is dismissed. We're finished. You were lucky his mother didn't sue you.
Everybody excuse me, they step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
Because they hit my car and they were turning around.
Oh my God, it was very frightening. I thought he was really hurt.
The police knocked on the parents' door trying to get them up to come see about their child.
And I ran downstairs and ran outside to go see if he was okay.
She said that she would make arrangements to pay by May the 20th.
I actually got pushed into saying that she basically bullied me into it.
I'm glad he wasn't hurt, but my car is still damaged.
Share that road.
The forecast was for fun of the sun.
We planned a trip to go to Miami. It was supposed to be $800 for each of us.
Argument, and she didn't go.
A family's in for a stormy future.
Your cousin accused you of stealing $2,600.
I said, let them all take a lie detector test. I'll pay for it.
The test results were negative.
Yes, it was negative.
I wouldn't want to go with you on vacation either.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Michelle Marshall is suing her cousin, Mia Coleman, for a refund for an airline ticket, the cost of a lie detector test, and harassment.
Order. All rise. It's case number 73 on the calendar in the matter of Marshall versus Coleman.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Ladies, have a seat, please.
Miss Marshall, Miss Coleman is your cousin. You were planning a trip somewhere. According to you, you gave her money for that trip. About the same time, your cousin accused you of stealing about $2,600 from her. Well, she suggested that it could have been you. It caused a great deal of friction. Someone suggested that a polygraph test might resolve it. According to you, Ms. Coleman said if you took the polygraph test and passed it, she would pay for it. You took the polygraph test. According to you, you passed it. That's what you're suing her for, to pay for the polygraph test. Mm-hmm. That's another thing you're suing her for. And harassment and defamation for accusing you. So let's just get to the ticket. How much was the ticket and where were you going?
We were planning a trip to go to Miami.
And you gave her money? How much?
First, I gave her $700, and then later on, I gave her $100. It was supposed to be $800 for each of us to go.
Did she give you the $800?
No.
How much did she give you?
She gave $800 to Lashana.
Who was that?
And we also gave Lashana our booth money for the...
Did you give the money to her?
She gave it. It was given to me.
Handed to you?
Yes, it was handed to me.
Stand up. What did you do with it? Don't go over here. She handed it to you.
She hands me the money, and my cousin asked me, do you want me to put it up for you? And I said yes, and she put
So then you
money.
gave, just a second, so that you gave the money to the defendant.
I gave the money to the
Fine.
defendant. It was a reimbursement, Judge. The tickets were bought on February the 19th.
I don't care what it was. She paid for her ticket. Yes. She didn't go.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
We don't have to make this into a Supreme Court case. It's not a Supreme Court case.
Right. Yeah.
You got the money, you bought the ticket. You had this argument, and she didn't go. She wants her money back. And what you're saying is that the ticket was non-refundable. That's what I read in your answer. That's what you said. So don't say no. That's what you wrote. No, you were shaking your head no. Sit down, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Were you supposed to go by air?
Yes.
And were you staying at a hotel? Was there a package?
It was supposed to be a package, yes.
It was a package. Okay. Did you go to Miami? Miss Coleman, did you go to Miami?
Oh, yes, I thought you talked to her. Yes, I went to Miami.
Again, you shook
I'm
your
sorry.
head no.
Yes, I went to Miami.
Okay.
But she didn't go because she didn't want to go.
I didn't ask you a question. There's no question before you.
Oh, okay. Yes, I went to Miami.
You went to Miami?
Yes.
Okay, and what happened to her ticket?
It was non-refundable due to the fact that money got...
Just a second. It was a non-refundable ticket?
Yes.
Did they tell you it was a non-refundable ticket?
Yes.
When did they tell you it was a non-refundable ticket?
March 17th.
And when was the trip scheduled?
This trip was scheduled for May 17th.
Okay, so they told you 2 months in advance that the ticket was non-refundable. So what do you want me to do?
I wanted my money back, or I wanted information about the ticket so I can go somewhere else. I asked for information of the airline and everything, and they didn't give me nothing.
Oh, do you have all the information for her?
Yes, which she never asked for.
Just a second. All I have to do is say it's a non-refundable ticket, and you can't change it. That's all. Can I see it, please?
Here you go.
Okay, the ticket was a non-refundable ticket.
I didn't see that.
Here you go. Would you hand that to her? Yeah. Okay.
This doesn't have a date or nothing on here, but I see it says non-refundable.
How much was the airline ticket?
I think it was like $651.
And she gave you a total of $800.
Mm-hmm.
What was the other money for?
For the room. You know,
she didn't use the room.
Okay, what happened was LaShawna bought the tickets February 15th. March 14th, me and Michelle gave LaShawna back her money. Michelle and I and LaShawna already discussed about buying the room and everything together, so that's why she gave me extra money for the room. I have all the texts right here.
I don't want to see the text.
Okay.
So far, you owe her $159. You don't owe her for the airline, just for the room.
Okay.
She didn't go. And she didn't go because...
Because she didn't want to go.
Well, she didn't... I could understand that. I could understand that. You accused her of stealing.
Oh, no, I didn't. I have those texts, Judge. I didn't accuse her. I didn't accuse neither one of them.
Okay.
I have one, too.
Good. Put it down. I read your answer. The next day, I discovered I was missing $2,600 of my hard-earned money. I didn't want to blame either of them, but I let them know that the money didn't walk away on its own. After that, Michelle distanced herself from me and started telling all of her family that I accused her of stealing from me. I never accused her, but she showed a very guilty conscience and was being very defensive. At that point, I knew she had to be the one that took my money. So that's what you wrote.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Just a second. Don't try to talk over me. That doesn't usually work. So I wouldn't want to go with you on vacation either. Now, let's get to the polygraph test. So when did you discuss a lie detector test, Ms. Coleman?
What had happened was Michelle's mother said that they all should take a lie detector test.
Good.
I said, okay, let them all take a lie detector test. I said we can, all three of them go at one time with my questions. I'll pay for it. Then I text my Auntie Mary and I asked her the number to the man, which I have the text right here, and she gave me his number. I called him. He stated that Michelle already had...
Don't tell me what he stated.
Oh.
What he stated is hearsay.
Oh, okay. Well, she already had an appointment for tomorrow at 1 o'clock.
Did you go?
They didn't want me to go.
Did you go?
No, they didn't want me to go.
How do you know that?
Because my auntie got all...
Just a second. You have a whole bunch of texts there. Do you have text there where you say, listen, I understand you're having a polygraph test. I want to go. And they say, we don't want you to be there. Do you have a text that says that?
I think my auntie said that verbally.
Okay.
And then I text the man my questions, and he never did reply, and then he switched my questions.
Just a second. Did you ever tell her you didn't want her to go?
No, I didn't.
Okay. Fine. And the test results were negative, is that correct?
Yes. They weren't my questions. I don't know.
Yes,
it was negative.
It was negative. And how much for the test?
Just me.
Okay. We have counterclaim, money owed for a concert ticket. How much was the concert ticket?
$147.
When was it for?
I don't know what concert.
I don't want you to interrupt her.
The concert was on 122.
January 22nd?
Yes.
What are you talking about? This all started in March.
No, that's okay. That's why you have to understand.
No, I'm not going back to history.
No,
concert ticket.
Here you go.
Did you buy concert ticket for the plaintiff?
Yes.
Did you buy? That's a yes.
Yes.
And it was $147.
Yes.
When was the concert scheduled?
April 19th. I thought you said what day were the tickets bought on.
On April 19th?
Yes, that's when the concert was.
And she didn't go with you because that was after all this happened?
Yeah, after she decided to push herself away.
After all this happened, she did not go to the concert, but you had already purchased the ticket for her. Miss Marshall, did you know that your cousin had purchased the ticket for you?
I do not know what concert she's talking about.
Tell me what concert. Tell me what
the
concert.
Snoop Dogg concert.
Just a second. I ask a question, you give an answer. Tell me what concert you were all going to.
The Snoop Dogg concert.
And you had discussed that together?
Probably sometime in January.
Do you recall that, Miss Marshall? Just be careful. Do you recall discussing going to the Snoop Dogg concert?
Talking about it, yes.
Okay, I'm going to deduct 147. Did you give her the ticket, by the way?
Shh. No.
Just a second. Did you give... Listen, it's a confusing, very uninteresting case. So let me get through it so that I can get back to my gin game. Did you give her the ticket?
No, she distanced herself.
Just a second.
No.
The answer is then you don't get the money back. You mail her the ticket.
How if she distanced herself?
I don't care if she distanced herself. She's not paying you for the... Listen, you're looking at your papers, not paying attention. That's why you're going to lose.
I'm listening to you, Judge
That's
Judy.
why you're going to lose. Listen to me. If you had mailed her the ticket that you bought her and said, listen, you want to go, go. You want to send somebody else? Fine. You want to try to sell the ticket? Fine. I'm not interested that she distanced herself.
Even if she said, I'm not going to the Snoop Dogg concert now, I have the texts. She's not going now. The tickets were already bought.
Text is not plural. Second of all, she doesn't have to go. All you have to do is send her the ticket. Put your hand down.
She didn't give me the money by then. On the ticket, she didn't give us our money. I'm always the collector in situations.
But
she didn't give us no money.
Hands down. Then take somebody else or sell the ticket. Take somebody else or sell the ticket. $474. You have any other thing in your counterclaim?
Yes,
come on, fast.
My counterclaim is about me and my children. Michelle has been slandering my name all over Facebook to my family. She's saying that I said that she took my money when I never did. I told them I don't know which one of them took my money.
Okay,
I have
$447. Judgment for the plaintiff. Your counterclaim's dismissed.
Judge Judy,
we are done.
What about her talking about my children?
We are
Judge Judy,
we're finished.
Even her daughter's father said something about my son's mental health. Are you serious?
Serious?
Thank you, Judge.
Ma'am.
I never accused neither one. What happened was I had a conversation with both of them. I said, I don't know if you stole it, I don't know if you stole it.
I don't even believe the money was missing. I believe it was all just a scam to get me for my money and they can go to the trip.
At the Snoop Dogg, Miami, we already didn't pay for all of this. I can't go. I'm not messing with you guys anymore.
It's terrible sad. I am truly hurt by that.
It's no more relationship. It's no more relationship, you know?
Me and my cousin was really close before all this came about.
Never trust family. Never trust family again.
And now, the next case.
Step forward.
Whitney Porter is suing her ex-boyfriend, Trendle Clark, for late fees, stolen money, and damaged property.
Miss Porter, it is your claim that Mr. Clark, who was an old friend of yours, called you one evening. What was the date of that call?
May 2nd.
And he needed a place to sleep because he was a little drunk.
Mm-hmm.
Where had you been?
I was at work. I wasn't drunk.
So why didn't you go home?
It was too far of a ride.
Had you ever slept at Miss Porter's before?
Yes.
Prior to May 2nd of this year, when had you slept at her house before?
Probably a few months before that.
So you usually drive home from work?
Yeah, if it's close, yeah.
Well, your house doesn't move, does it?
Nah.
Does your workplace move?
No.
Well, if your workplace doesn't move and your house doesn't move, then it's the same distance all the time. So why sometimes do you sleep over and sometimes not?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You went to pay the rent, and the $525 was missing from your purse.
Yes, ma'am.
So there were only two people who could have taken that money. One was your daughter, and one was Mr. Clark.
Yes.
You want to stand up?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Whitney Porter says ex-boyfriend Trendle Clark stole money from her purse.
Sometimes you sleep over and sometimes not.
Just felt like stopping at the time and just staying over there.
What kind of work do you do?
Construction work.
Was May 2nd a weekday or a weekend?
Weekend.
So it must have been a Friday.
Yes.
What time did he get to your house on Friday night?
It was like 2 or 3 o'clock that morning. He called me.
2 to 3 in the morning. Well, what kind of construction do you do?
Working on houses. Later, I got 2 jobs. I could security guard that night. So after I got done doing my job at the security job, I just called her instead of going home.
Where were you working security?
At a club, nightclub.
And what time does it close?
4.
So you left early?
Yeah, about 3.
Was the door open for you, or did she open the door?
It was open.
And you went to sleep on the futon. Where did you sleep?
In the bed.
With whom?
With her.
Had you done that before?
Yes.
Did you ever sleep on the futon?
No.
Who do you live with?
I live with me and my 2 children.
How old are they?
13 and 4.
13 is?
My daughter.
What's her name?
Tatiana.
Mr. Clark, how long have you known the plaintiff?
Long time, since we were kids.
How often do you have a sleepover?
Every once in a while.
Ms. Porter says that you took some money from her wallet.
I don't know nothing about no money.
Okay. This is your claim, Ms. Porter. You claim that the defendant came over, he was drunk, he slept on your futon and damaged it, and you claim that he took money that you had... For whom?
Mobile Link is Cricket. It's a cell phone company.
When had you cashed your daughter's check?
It was cashed the night before.
And she gets that check every month?
Yes, ma'am.
For how long?
She's been getting it since she was about 5 or 6.
Is your daughter in regular school?
Yes.
How much cash was in your purse?
It was exactly $525 in my purse.
After you drove your son to school, came back, and according to your complaint, you went to pay the rent, and the $525 was missing from your purse.
Yes, ma'am.
So there were only 2 people, really,
yes,
who could have taken that money. One was your daughter, and one was Mr. Clark.
Right.
Has Mr. Clark ever taken money from you before?
No.
You have this sort of arrangement with him periodically, where he stays over? I believe him, you know.
Yeah, we,
okay.
Yeah.
Fine, that's enough. You don't have to say anything. And the person who told you that she saw Mr. Clark rifling through your purse was your daughter?
Yes.
You want to stand up?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I never even talked to you again after you told me you was gonna give me your check on Wednesday.
I want to know why you haven't spoken to each other since then.
Because he's fellas.
I couldn't tell you.
I'm believing you less, Mr. Clark.
Whitney Porter says ex-boyfriend Trendle Clark stole money from her purse and ruined her futon.
How did you get to school that day?
My mom.
That was after she took your brother to school?
Yes.
How far is the ride?
Like 10 miles or something like that.
So you were in the car with your mother for a while?
Yes.
And you had plenty of opportunity to tell your mother that when she was out taking your brother to school, you saw Mr. Clark going through her purse?
Yes.
Later told your mother. How much later?
I went to school, and I was thinking about it, like, should I tell my mom?
Well, that's something that you tell your mom immediately, as soon as you see it happen, and then she goes in the car, she's in the car with you, taking you to school, right?
No, I was thinking, like, why would he take my mom money, and my mom been through so much with him, and I was just confused.
Okay, you can have a seat. Other than your daughter's testimony, do you have any other proof that Mr. Clark took your money?
No.
Not enough for me. It's not enough for me. You understand why?
No.
Well, it's easy. There were 2 adults in the house. Mr. Clark, who you've known for how many years?
Since we were 13, 14.
And he's never taken anything from you, right?
But who else will take it?
Your daughter.
My daughter is not going to take my money.
I don't know that. At the end of a question that I have, then I can't find Mr. Clark guilty of taking your money. There are certain things that I do know. I know that Mr. Clark denies taking your money.
But he also told me on the phone that he's going to pay me my money back or that following Wednesday when he got paid.
Did you say that to her?
I said I would help her out. Just being a kind person that I am, yes,
No,
I did say that.
No, let's go back. She called you on the phone, and what did she say to you?
She said the money's missing, and I told her that I don't know nothing about whatever money that's missing.
Did Mr. Clark say, I don't know anything about whatever money is missing? Did he say that to you?
He said, I don't know, but I'll help you. I'll give you some money, some of your money back on Wednesday when I get paid. Those was his words. So, you know, that's basically letting me know that
Well, no, there's a word back there. Did you use the word back?
No.
Well, tell me about the conversation then, Mr. Clark.
She just called me, said the money's missing, well, I need help paying the rent. I said, okay, well, when I get paid, I can help you out. That's all I can do, because I can't do nothing else. I don't have your money. And that was it. Offering to help her out, to help her with her bills, so she wouldn't lose her house.
But I also haven't heard from him since then. Like, he has not brung the money or nothing. I have not been able to get in touch with him or nothing. He don't answer.
Well,
nothing.
Then, Mr. Clark, let's go further, because it's getting more convincing to me.
Judge Judy Justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Now, if you said, I'll help you out with my next paycheck, and this was May 2nd, did you help her out with your next paycheck?
Nah.
Why?
I called her and just left her alone.
What do you mean you called her?
I called her back after she called me, and I just left her alone after the situation where she had said she already paid her rent. She already took care of it.
Who told you she took care of it?
She did.
Did she say how?
No.
How did you take care of your rent?
I got help from the agencies that help you with your rent, but I never told you that. I never even talked to you again after you told me you was gonna give me your check on Wednesday. So how could I have called you back and told you that?
Now, don't speak to each other. You speak to me. I want to know why you haven't spoken to each other since then.
I couldn't tell you.
I'm believing you less, Mr. Clark. $525 was taken?
Yes, ma'am.
Judgment for the plaintiff. We're done. Thank you.
Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
She knew it wasn't right. She knew I didn't take the money. She knew exactly what was going on.
I mean, I know he took my money. There was no other person. My daughter's not gonna steal my money from me.
Her daughter was lying, she lying, and I just left her alone at that.
Because he thinks that I have money and I don't have money, and that's...
Been knowing her for a long time, but it's over with. I ain't got nothing else to deal with it.
I just hope that we just keep our distance like we've been doing.
It's still gonna be the same. I ain't worried about it. It ain't gonna hurt me.
No more late night calls.
A mom dumps her kids at a daycare.
You left your children with Miss Hunsicker for how long?
About 6 months.
They're your children.
The next thing she ditched was the bill.
How much money did you give Miss Hunsicker for taking care of your children?
Well, I was giving them food and things like that.
That's not sufficient. That's what I would say to a man if he was standing there, and that's what I'm saying to you.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Daycare provider Teresa Hunsicker is suing former client Veronica Cotton for child care costs after Veronica left her kids with her for 6 months.
Order. All rise. It's case number 120 on the calendar in the matter of Hunsicker versus Cotton.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated, sir. Have a seat.
Miss Hunsicker, you run a daycare center?
Yes, 1987.
In what year did you first meet Miss Cotton?
2018.
Who introduced you?
I actually received a phone call from my neighbor who is a church secretary, and she said a mom had been calling looking for emergency child care for 4 hours so she could attend a training at work.
That was you?
Yes.
And you have how many children?
2.
Who is this?
My boyfriend.
Is he the father of either of these children?
No.
How old are your children?
13 and 8.
Okay. Without going into a whole long story, you ended up, Miss Cotton, leaving your children with Miss Hunsicker because you were having some difficulties. Difficulties, I don't know what they were related to. Whether they were related to substance abuse, whether they related to lack of housing. I don't know for what reason. But you left your children with Miss Hunsicker for how long?
About 6 months.
And in the 6 months, because you brought your children there, then became sort of friends, you were having difficulty, you asked her if she could take care of them for a while, she said yes, and anyway, you left them there. During any of that 6-month period, were you in a rehabilitation center?
No, I didn't need to be.
Were you in jail?
No, I didn't need to be.
Were you working?
Yes.
During that 6-month period, because that's what this is about, during that 6-month period, how much money did you give
herself? None.
To her?
None.
To her. And how did you think that children were being supported?
Well, I was giving them food and things like that. I had already given them their clothes.
That's like a father saying to me, I take care of them, I bring them diapers. You know how many times I've heard that? Bringing them food. Did you, let me ask you this question.
No, like filling the grocery.
did you bring them food on a daily basis?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner? So that means you saw your children every day?
I did, but not breakfast and lunch because they were getting that at school.
So what you're telling me, Miss Cotton, is that you brought your children dinner every day?
Yes.
Is that correct?
No, it is not.
Of course not. Okay. And how much cash did you provide Miss Hunsinger for clothes, taking them to a movie, anything that a 13-year-old and an 8-year-old might need? Cash.
Zero cash.
Zero cash. Well,
they already had everything that they needed.
No,
and
they
I
didn't.
told her that anything that they needed extra, I would take care of, not a problem.
You took, listen to me, Miss Cotton.
I saw them every day.
Miss Cotton, if what you're suggesting to me is that you weren't in jail and you weren't in a rehab program, that you're suggesting that you saw your children every day, which I doubt, and that your contribution was bringing them dinner, that's not sufficient. That's what I would say to a man if they're your children. Where is their father?
In a different state.
For the time that the children were living with you, did you have a child support order with regard to the father?
No.
Why?
Because it had never been served to him. When I don't know his whereabouts, it's kind of hard to serve him.
Were the children ever receiving public assistance?
Yes.
From what state?
Here.
From the state of California?
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh is not an answer.
Yes, ma'am.
In what year did the children start to receive public assistance in the state of California?
2017 for some time, and then 2018 for some time.
When in 2018?
I believe in June until December.
And what happened in December? What happened in December of 2018?
I didn't renew it.
During what period of time did the children reside with Miss Hunsinger? Is not an answer. You should know when your children resided. 13 and 8 resided outside your home. Month and year that the children resided with Miss Hunsinger.
They were over there in October, and she kept them in 2018.
Just a second. So just tell me when she started. October of 2000?
Well, she held them from me, Your Honor.
Just listen to me. I don't care. Do you understand?
Well, the other judge did. That's why they denied her case.
I'm on a whole different track from you. What month did the children begin to reside with Miss Hunsinger?
In October 2018.
Is that correct?
October 4th, 2018.
October 1st, 2018.
No, ma'am. October 4th, 2018.
No, it wasn't.
Until when did they reside with you?
May 10th, 2019.
So that means that for at least 3 months that I can count, you were receiving public assistance for the children. Did you turn over any of that public assistance that you were receiving to the children to Miss Hunsinger, who was taking care of the children?
No,
the answer
because
is no.
Instead I filled up her groceries. I put groceries in her fridge, Your Honor.
No, she did not, but she did use her food stamps once to buy 1 gallon of milk and 1 quart of orange
Just a
juice.
second. I'm not asking food stamps yet. I'm just asking cash. Cash you get...
I didn't receive any cash.
Oh, you said you were receiving both from June 2018 to December of 2018 for the children. And if the children lived with her October, November, and December, then you got cash.
I didn't receive cash. I was working, Your Honor.
I don't care if you were working or not. You just told me that you were receiving
you said
welfare
and
for the children.
To
for the children,
the state welfare is food stamps and cash.
Miss Cotton, you are.
So I was receiving food stamps. I was not receiving cash.
Okay. Well, I suggest that you should find out whether or not you made an agreement with Miss Hunsinger, a contract with Miss Hunsinger to provide for necessaries for your children. You as a parent are required under the law of every jurisdiction to provide for necessaries for children: food, clothing, shelter, medical, all other necessaries for children. You're required to do that. Not a stranger. You're required to do that. And you didn't do it. That's what she's suing for. And she's entitled to it. So
I didn't
the only
provide their housing. That was it.
I don't care. You said you were working. Great. That's your responsibility. Now let's move forward to your counterclaim. You are counterclaiming her for the return for $5,000 for return of property, the children's property. What property do you allege that she has?
Everything of
yours?
Theirs.
What?
She has.
Is not an answer. Let's go. What does she have?
Xbox console, my son's bike, my daughter's bike, their scooters, 2 iPads. My motorcycle helmet. She has all of their clothes, their shoes, their undergarments, bedding.
Is what your
toys.
Do you have anything that Miss Cotton brought with her when she deposited her children with you.
I do have the children's clothing. I have been trying and signed for them in front of a notary for liability reasons. She has refused to do so. I have text messages showing each and every time I have tried to get her to sign for everything.
This is the answer, because no good deed goes unpunished. I'm going to suggest that you box everything. You live in the same jurisdiction?
Yes, ma'am.
With a police escort. She is going to, at 5 o'clock next Thursday, put the things at 5 p.m. next Thursday. She is going to put all the children's boxed things outside. You have a private house?
I do.
Outside of the house. If you do not pick it up at 5 o'clock, she's going to call a trash and have them removed. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect.
Fantastic.
If you're not there,
Thank you.
if you're not there, everything goes. Do you understand? You
Yes,
cannot come
ma'am.
alone. That takes care of your counterclaim. Judgment for the plaintiff for the
Fantastic. What about
necessaries
my
for the
items,
children
Your Honor?
in the amount of $5,000. We're finished. Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
She is money hungry as well as single white female.
Most of what she said was not true.
God is not on her side, and God doesn't like ugly.
The more you help others, the better a world we have.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Renison versus Corbiciero, step forward.
Kelly Renison Sierro for property damage and an injury caused by movers.
Mr. Cabiciero, this is your problem, sir. You have a real estate company.
Correct.
The plaintiff purchased a condo through your company. During the negotiation process, you said to her, if you buy a condo through my company, for which you get a commission, what do you get, 5%?
No, it was 2.5%.
You were co-brokered with somebody else?
Yeah, correct. There wasn't.
What do you, that's not a, it was a 5% commission. You only got half because you
Correct.
were co-broker.
Mhm.
If you buy the condo through my company, I'll throw in the moving. That's what you said to her.
No.
What is it that you said to her?
I said, once you purchase the condo, because you're a single woman, I'm going to be helping you out with the movers that we have with the other company. It's different. I didn't say I'm going to pay for your moving. I said,
No,
we're
I
gonna
didn't say you would pay for the moving.
Right.
I'd say you would take care of the move.
Correct.
And what happened was you sent a mover. Were you one of the movers?
No, I'm the owner of the staging company.
So you're not a moving company. You stage
Correct.
property. And you have a van.
That's my van.
This is van.
Your van.
Yes.
So you stage, it's a whole little business.
Correct. You're good.
Perfect. And the people who moved her damaged some of her property. That's what happened. And you said, well, she got it for nothing. I bought her a refurbished TV, and they did damage the mattress a little bit, but I had the mattress cleaned, and I even offered to have it sewed. I mean, I read your answer. She said she wanted a new mattress.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Your agreement with her was buy it through me, and I'll move you for free. You could move her for free, but that doesn't mean you have to move her using people who were unskilled and damaged her property.
And later today,
Prior to giving her the deposit, did the two of you know each other?
I only knew her vaguely because of my boyfriend, which was her neighbor.
Are you sure you wanted to move right next door to him?
real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Kelly Renison says real estate agent Giuseppe Corbiciero owes for damage to her property and an injury caused by movers.
Your defense is she got moved. May not have been perfect, but she didn't pay for it.
Right.
It got thrown in. That's really your defense.
That's right.
She didn't. Wrong in the law. Your contract with her, whether you believe it or not, was if she purchased her condo through your company, which amounted to how much money?
$2,400, I would say.
Okay. And you have your own van. It's your van, so you weren't paying any van. And I assume if you have a staging company that stages apartments, you have other people that either work for you part-time or you pick them up on the street when you need to pick up people. They don't work for you full-time.
No,
Is
they
that
do
right?
work for us.
They work for you full-time.
They work on, depending on the job, so they get paid per job.
So you do not have full-time employees that work on the books. They're part-time people that you hire per hour as you need them.
No, per job. It's not per hour.
Per job. So you would give them so much per job.
Correct.
Great. I'd like to know how much you gave them for the plaintiff's job. You should have to look at something. No
yeah,
guessing.
No, I remember. I got it here. So we paid, I believe, It was from 2 p.m. to 2 a.m. This guy's got 12 hours. They got $240.
So you cleared about $2,000.
Sure, gross.
Your problem is that once you take on the responsibility of moving her, you are responsible for any damage that's caused by the people who moved her. Because but for this agreement, she could have gone someplace else and bought the condo. Your agreement with her was buy it through me and I'll move you for free. Well, nothing's free. You could move her for free, but that doesn't mean you're unskilled and damaged her property. You're not allowed to do that. So I'd like to see pictures of the mattress.
You mean the mattress that was bought on offer up for a couple $100?
I didn't understand a word you said. Oh, yeah, they damaged the mattress. You need a new mattress. You don't have to sew up a mattress. And it's filthy and ripped. All right, do you have a bill for a new mattress? Your new mattress is $4,328.
With tax.
With tax. Judgment for the plaintiff. Listen, if you got your head in the way of somebody moving, that's your problem. You look old enough to stay out of the way of people who are not doing their job. So if you got hit in the head by them, you should have stayed out of your own way.
Yes, ma'am.
Judgment for the plaintiff. We're finished. Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Great way to get a brand new mattress at the end of the day.
I think it was absolutely fair.
Just to help somebody that's a single woman and do it with her heart. And ended up actually getting sued.
Always go professional.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Maylee versus Russo. Step forward.
Loretta Maylee is suing Linda Russo for the return of a deposit on a trailer that she never moved into.
Miss Maylee, you're requesting the return of a deposit of a trailer.
Yes.
Prior to giving her the deposit, did the two of you know each other?
I only knew her vaguely because of my boyfriend, which was her neighbor.
Are you sure you wanted to move right next door to him?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
What took you so long to get here?
I was trying to get a hold of her, and I thought maybe she might do the honest thing and give me my money back because I'm an honest person, so I thought she might be.
That's not being a dishonest person.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Loretta Maylee claims Linda Russo stole her deposit on a trailer she never moved into.
Now, you gave her the deposit when?
I gave her the deposit on September 27th, $1,500 in cash.
And the total purchase price of the trailer was?
Was $2,700. I was supposed to give her the remaining balance on the 3rd of October, but when she phoned me, I told her I changed my mind.
Just a second. I want you to tell me what the conversation was when you purchased the trailer. You negotiated the price. What were you asking for the trailer, Miss Russo?
$2,700, dear.
Can you tell me why you were going to give her the balance?
And I get paid on the 3rd, so I was going to give her the remaining balance on that day. But when she called me, I told her I changed my mind.
The question is, if your contract is done, you can't just change your mind. So when did she call you?
She called me on the 3rd. But we didn't have a contract. All I had was the receipt where I paid her the money.
Oh, you just told me you had a contract.
No, not a contract. It was just a receipt.
What you just testified to, Miss Maylee, is that you had a contract. You bought her trailer for $2,700. You only had with you $1,500. The reason you were delaying the final payment to October 3rd was that you didn't get your disability check until October 3rd. There was no contingency. The sale was completed on September 27th. That's what you just told me. You just told me that you made a contract with her. You agreed on a purchase price of $2,700. You gave her $1,500 of the $2,700 and said, will you wait for the balance because I get my disability in 5 days and I'll give you the balance. When you didn't come over with the balance, she called you and you said, I changed my mind. But you can't change. Once you have a contract, and the contract doesn't have to be in writing.
I didn't know it was like that.
Well, I know you didn't know it, but that's what.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by.
Are you the victim of a scam? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
So now I'm going to move over to you. Do you still live in the trailer?
No, ma'am, I do not.
Who lives in the trailer?
Friends of mine, William.
and his girlfriend.
Are the friends of yours living there as owners or renters?
Owners. They bought the trailer.
And how much did they pay you for the trailer?
They gave me $1,000 for the trailer.
Well, Miss Russo, it seems to me that what you did was you turned around, you said, I'm using her money, and I'm going to sort of give it to my friends for the $1,000. Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
Well, why did you do that?
I had been in that park just too long, and I needed a change.
All right, it's fair. Anyway, Miss Melee, you lost your deposit because it was a sale. You left it and said, I will finish paying you on October 3rd. That's not a refundable deposit. You can't change your mind. If she had sold the trailer for $2,700 to somebody else, then I would have made her give you back your money because she sort of mitigated her damages. She decided not to do that. She's under no obligation to. By the way, what took you so long to get here?
I was trying to get a hold, and I thought maybe she might do the honest thing and give me my money back because I'm an honest person, so I thought she might be.
That's not being a dishonest person. You can't change your mind. She had a closed deal for her property. Okay, we're done here. Thank you very much. Case is dismissed. Bye.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
Did she sweep up his customers?
I had no idea that this was prior his customer.
He slandered me.
He called you a thief.
Yeah.
But you were.
Next Judge Judy.
I feel it is very dishonest and that she's a terrible person.
It was a verbal contract, and she broke it.
I always get it in writing.
She should learn that you need to get it in writing when you go to buy something.
Her cleaning job came with conditions.
What was the oral agreement you had with her?
For 3 years from the moment she stops working for me, she cannot take any of my clients.
But did she sweep up his customers?
Hal was his client.
Me and Lugina cleaned his house under her company, and we got paid. I had no idea that this was prior his customer.
He slandered me.
He called you a thief.
Yeah.
But you were.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Cleaning company owner Matthew Jaden is suing his former employee, Lugina Horoschek, for stealing clientele from his company.
Order. All rise. It's case number 118 on the calendar in the matter of Jaden versus Horoschek.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Folks, have a seat, please.
Mr. Jaden, you are the owner of a cleaning service.
Yes.
And you started that cleaning service as a young man. How long ago?
Approximately 7-ish years ago, around there.
Is that your only business?
No.
What other businesses do you have?
Well, I'm currently a holistic physician.
What kind of training do you do to become a holistic physician?
So I had to go to a school of naturopathy and study holistic medicine.
Where?
Okay, I went to Trinity.
For how long?
It was a 4-year program.
And you graduated when?
I graduated about 2 years ago.
And where do you practice?
The Birmingham Royal Oak Medical Group, and that's in Royal Oak, Michigan, by the way. I also practice in, it's called Holistic. It's a new medical office in Royal Oak.
In addition to this cleaning service, you have 2 medical practices. How many people do you employ in the cleaning service part of your business?
On average, usually I keep around 6-7 employees total.
And how much do you pay them an hour?
They're usually depending on experience, but usually it's around 12 to 17 an hour.
And how much do you charge your customers per hour?
Depending on what they need done, if it's a post-construction cleanup or if it's
If it's a regular cleanup.
If it's just a regular, 55
Weekly.
an hour for 2 people.
55 an hour for 2 people.
Yeah, so it's $27.50 per hour per cleaner. 2 people is $55
No,
an hour.
we're going to go slowly.
Sorry about
Slowly.
that. All right.
$12 to $17 an hour is what you pay your employees.
Right.
And you bill your customer for regular cleaning. How much an hour?
It's $55 an hour.
It's your claim that the defendant breached a contract with you who had worked for you. When did the defendant start to work for you?
Lugina started working for me. It was approximately September of 2017.
Did you have a written agreement with her?
Yes.
May I see it, please? Yeah.
There you go.
Thank you, Bird. Do you have a signed contract of hers?
Period. It's in the open with all the supplies, but she did sign an agreement, but we also did have a verbal agreement as well.
Would you give this back to him?
Sure.
That may be a contract,
Take a step over.
but it's not her contract because it's neither signed by you nor her. Okay, so now you want to tell me, Mr. Jaden, that you had an oral agreement with her. And what was the oral agreement you had with her?
The moment she starts working for me to the end, until 3 years after she stops, she cannot take any of my, or solicit any of my customers or take any of my clients whatsoever. From that belongs to the company.
Do you recall having that conversation with him?
No, Your Honor.
Well, tell me what conversation you had with him when you started to work for him,
He
if you
told
remember.
me when I started working for him, if I don't touch his customers, and as I knew it was 6 months.
What do you mean as you
After
knew it?
6 months of the customer leaving him, I cannot touch that customer till 6 months afterwards.
Okay. Mr. Jaden, what client do you allege that Miss Horishak took from you?
Okay. So I have...
The name of the client.
The client is Hal.
Is Mr. here?
No.
And how many clients of your company did the defendant work for?
Several. I mean, she...
Many.
She did at least, she did around 2-3 jobs per day. So 2-3 houses every single day.
You allege that she took from you. Is this Hal?
Correct.
Now, it's up to you to prove that to me.
Okay, so I'm here. I'm going to prove it to you right now. So Hal was a regular with me for approximately, it was about 3 years-ish, around there, that we were servicing him every 2 weeks. He would pay $110 every 2 weeks, and we would go there. You know, and that would obviously add up to be, you know, quite a bit per year. But anyways, what ended up happening was that they developed a relationship with Hal. And so, you know, he was involved with their
Who's
church. Lugina and her husband.
Okay, so the
They told me. Sorry.
So the defendant and Mr. Noonan developed a friendly relationship outside of their business relationship through church and whatever.
Right. So,
I mean, that's hearsay unless you know that, unless she discussed it with you. But let's say that happened. And?
And what ended up happening was that this is how I found out, was I have a key witness that lived with Lugina.
You have
Actually,
what?
I have a key witness here with me that lived with Lugina. She started working for me in January, roughly, of this year. Okay. You know, that's Alexis. She's sitting right here.
That would be you?
Yes.
Yes.
And you live with her?
I did at the time.
Okay. Step up.
Okay.
Tell me your last name.
Yancy.
Tell me what you know about Hal and the defendant.
Well, I've known the defendant, Lugina, since I was about... she has her own cleaning company called Rosemaids. I was...
No, don't look down. Look up here.
I just started cleaning with Matt, and we were just having a conversation generally, and I had said one of Lugina's clients named Hal. I had no idea that this was prior his customer. Me and Lugina cleaned his house under her company, and we got paid. I had no idea at the time that it was Matthew's customer, or a previous customer.
In what month and year was this?
This was like the first week of April of this year.
And you started to work for him in what year?
17, sorry.
And when did you stop working for him? Month?
Trying to think.
It was May.
Of 2019?
Yes.
And you and the defendant cleaned Hal's house together, but under her company?
Correct, under Rosemaids.
Okay. Did she pay you?
We both got paid from Hal.
How much did you get paid?
I believe I got paid $50. We were there a couple hours.
Does that sound familiar to you?
It was 45, yes.
Well,
Your Honor.
Do you want to explain to me then how that happened? Because even under your best case scenario, Miss Horachek, Hal was his client. You started to work for Hal while you were under his employ, and as far as you told me, your agreement with him after you left work for any of his clients, which is perfectly reasonable. But his witness says that she worked with you at Hal's even before you left his company. Is that true?
Yes.
Well, you can't do that.
Okay.
And, Your Honor, I do want to mention something. There was no way I would ever say 6 months, because even on that contract...
It doesn't. Don't tell me about a contract that doesn't exist.
She did sign that contract. She saw the contract that she signed.
Listen to me.
Yes.
If I don't see it, it doesn't exist.
Okay, okay, I understand.
Well, I want you to be a good holistic doctor.
Yes.
Okay?
I'm actually a wonderful holistic
just a second.
doctor.
I want you to be a very, very good holistic doctor and listen.
You got it.
The first thing a doctor has to do is listen.
Absolutely.
Good?
Yes.
She has just said that she took Hal while she was working for you. She says she thinks it was a 6-month arrangement. I'm giving to her that it was a 6-month arrangement. What difference does it make? She took your client. She wasn't allowed to take your client during the period of time she did. You got to listen to your patients. All righty. Now, Hal was a client of yours for how long?
Around 2 years.
And let's say in a 6-month period, every other week, 2 people went in.
Right.
Which you calculate how much money you would have lost as a result of taking that client for a 6-month period.
Yeah.
How much?
It'd be somewhere around $2,500.
Not a round. I don't do a round.
$2,500.
No, that's a get. What is that?
You have it written down here.
You have to
I
be
had it written down.
Have it written down here.
It
Miss
was.
Yancey, you could sit down now. How many hours a week did you charge?
About 2 hours.
So that's $110 a day, twice a month, $220 per month, times 6.
1320.
$1,320. That's 6 months. $1,320. That's what you owe him. You can't take his client. What?
Honor, I have a witness because when I was working, I quit. He slandered me in front of clients of his.
He called you a thief?
Yeah.
Well, you were. You stole his client.
But he was letting his old clients I used to do think I'm ripping their houses off.
Okay.
I have a witness to this.
You owe him $1,320.
Your Honor, before you make that, I also want to let you know that she did steal a lot of cleaning supplies from me while working for me.
$1,320.
I have proof of the cleaning supplies missing.
$1,320.
Okay. You got
Bye.
it.
Sure, I have a judgment against them.
I'm just happy that justice has been served.
I think it was fair. She did a good job.
Once a thief, I guess always a thief.
It was one client, and I thought I was in my rights, too.
I mean, it's very frustrating, but sometimes really there's nothing you can do.
Because he was overcharging his customers more money than what it was worth.
Yeah, well, she's lying about that.
I'm going to run my own cleaning company.
She doesn't have a professional bone in her body.
I'm going to be his competition.
Yeah, may the best cleaners win.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Barber versus England. Step forward.
Sherry Barber is suing her daughter, 22-year-old Chelsea England, for unpaid rent and bills and for selling her property without permission.
Miss Barber, this is your daughter.
Correct.
And Miss England, you were living in a mobile home with your father.
Correct.
And the mobile home was co-owned by you and your father?
Correct.
How long were you living in the mobile home with your grandfather?
I want to say about a year.
Who were you living there with?
My grandfather and myself.
When did your grandfather pass away?
January 13th.
Of this year?
Yes, ma'am.
And it is your claim, Miss Barber, that your daughter finally moved out for rent, utilities, and also sold some of the things that were in the trailer that belonged to your father.
Correct.
Did you and your father purchase it together?
Yes, Your Honor.
When?
He's been there forever. In 2002.
Prior to living with your grandfather, who were you living with?
I was actually on the road in the carnival. My grandfather wanted me to come home.
When you came home, what did you bring to live with your grandfather? What did you bring with you?
Just the clothes I had with me when I left.
After your grandfather passed away, did you sell any of the property from the trailer?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Your mom said you can stay there until I sell it.
Correct.
I just don't know why we're here. I mean, we're talking about nonsense. We're talking about the whole trailer is worth $700. I'm asking you, why are we here?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Sherry Barber says her daughter, Chelsea England, owes for rent, bills, and for selling her furniture without permission.
After your grandfather passed away, did you sell any of the property from the trailer?
I did, with her permission.
What property did you sell from the trailer?
Refrigerator, I had to sell to make ends meet. The patio furniture, I had to sell to make ends meet.
Well, what ends did you have to make meet?
I have a 4-month-old baby. I was pregnant once after my grandfather passed away.
prior to that, were you working?
I was working until morning sickness and a high-risk pregnancy caused me to stop, in which case I still took care of my grandfather who was on his deathbed.
So after a brief period of time, you were not working, and you weren't working after your child was born. Tell me about the conversation that you had with your mom when she gave you permission to sell anything in the trailer.
I had asked her to come and get the stuff that she wanted, my brother wanted, and my stepdad wanted from my grandpa's house.
Well, just a minute. Why would you do that?
Because I had just given birth and I wanted, time with my newborn baby without a whole bunch of interruptions from everything else. It had been a month since my grandfather died.
Well, what made you think that since the mobile home belongs to your mother?
Right, and it was actually underneath the understanding that I could stay there until she sold the trailer.
Well, when did you have the conversation?
When my grandfather was still alive. He was a witness to that.
I don't want to hear you witness. Your mom said you can stay there until I sell it.
Correct.
Did you say that she could stay there until you sold it?
I told her she could stay there, Your Honor. I was going
fine.
to let her stay
there until you... Did you sell it?
It's in the process of being sold.
Okay, and how much are you selling it for?
All I can sell it for is $700.
Did you give your daughter permission to sell anything?
No, Your Honor.
What do you think she sold from the trailer?
It was not even 2 years old.
I just don't know why we're here. I mean, we're talking about nonsense. We're talking about the whole trailer is worth $700. So if you had a refrigerator that was almost 20 years old in it, so you had some new patio furniture, I'm asking you, why are we here?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
He is the father of your baby.
Legally speaking, yes.
What do you mean legally speaking? What does that mean?
The biological father of my child is deceased.
Who did you think was supposed to pay these bills?
February and March rent was supposed to be a baby gift for my son and a birthday present for me.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Sherry Barber says her daughter, Chelsea England, owes for rent, bills, and for selling her furniture without permission.
I'm asking you, why are we here?
Because, Your Honor, she did not pay rent. I got the notice from the trailer park with the eviction notice with my name on it, and it says my name and other occupants that the rent wasn't paid, and it was an eviction notice from the place that owns our home. And I had to come up with money to pay that.
How much money did you have to pay the trailer park? And from what month to what month? When did you move out, Miss England? It was from when to when for the trailer park?
February and March I took care of for her so she could be with the baby.
Okay. So what months are we talking about?
May and June.
And how much was the rent on the trailer park?
The rent's $468 a month.
And who was supposed to take care of that? You were living there and you got married.
Correct. I got
Just
married.
a second. So now you, your husband, and your baby are living...
We weren't married at the time.
When did you get married?
We got married on the 19th of last month.
Okay. But he is the father of your baby.
Legally speaking, yes.
What do you mean legally? What does that mean?
The biological father of my child is deceased. And the February and March rent was supposed to be a baby gift for my son and a birthday present for me.
$936. Is that why we're here?
For that, for the water bill and for the cable bill that she ran up in my father's name.
In what months?
From February on, for the cable bill, that came up to $821.95 that she owes for that.
May I see the bill?
That's the cable bill.
What kind of cable did you have there?
Comcast. And that bill is resulting of after my mother and I both as a team tried to get the cable bill turned on into my name so that would not happen, and she just never went through with it completely. I was waiting on something for her end.
We're going to always some expenses there. So far, it's $936 and $821. What's left?
We have the water bill.
Which is how much?
Which was never paid.
Just a second, from when to when?
The last payment was made was in January, right after my dad died, and the next payment was the one that I made to pay off the water bill.
May I see it?
Yes. And I have a letter here from my daughter of the money that I gave her for the part of the water bill.
Who did you think was supposed to pay these bills?
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by...
Are you in a family dispute? Go to judgejudy.com, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter.
Who did you think was supposed to pay these bills?
My mother's the one that told me she was going to cover it until she sold the trailer. I was never told I had to pay any of the utilities. I was never told I had to pay any of the rent. I would never received a copy of an eviction notice. She ended up turning off the water on me after she called CPS on me, and I do have actually her witness stating that she is the one that called on me, and she said that she's the one that called on me.
Okay, so far you owe your mother $2,852 for your living expenses when you lived in the trailer with your baby, with or without your new husband. Expenses. If your grandfather took care of you.
I was taking care of him.
No, if he took care, you may have physically taken care of him. You didn't take care of him all the time because while you were with him, you got pregnant.
That was before he got sick. When my grandfather got sick, it was in May of when I first got pregnant. I was morning sickness, and I was the one that lived in home taking care of him.
I got it. You owe your mother $2,852. That's what you owe her. For your living expenses, your husband's living expenses, and your child's living expenses. Those aren't your mother's responsibilities. Judgment for the plaintiff. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Parties are excused. May step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
He didn't feel like I was going to be able to do the job sufficiently.
How is he discriminating against you? He's giving you an opportunity to work.
You're right, but
just say you're right.
Judge Judy.
She wanted my husband before I married him. No, I've been with my husband for 19 years. She even told me beforehand if I left him, she'd pay everything. No. My mother called CPS on me and made my life a complete mess. Between the hot water tank being blown and how nasty her house was, I'm done with her. I want to move on. Someone took it upon themselves to try to save the baby because I watched that baby